Are we live?
It's connecting to YouTube, but we normally
Say something.
And then... Yeah, we're live.
We're live.
I think.
What do you mean you think?
Well, my thing's... Yeah, we're live.
We're live.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to get something.
I just got the email letting us know we're live.
Sorry?
I got the email letting us know.
I just got your drink.
Oh my God, why did you put it in there?
Sorry, I couldn't find the big dimple cup. Isn't that the normal one you have?
I drink wine out of a cup. Oh my gosh. I don't know why you were so stressed before.
You can see who's the boss. Cheers, big ears.
Cheers.
Yeah, sorry, Beck's been stressing for 2 hours because I stupidly updated my laptop to Big Sur.
And then
So
the thing
nothing
that we
works.
used didn't work. So I've been stressing. I didn't get time to finish my makeup. I thought I'd reward myself with a wine because
A bottle of wine.
I deserve it. And people are joining us. Hello.
Hello. So what are we doing?
So what are we doing? We are talking today. We're going to do a Q&A, so thank you for joining us. Everyone who's just tuning in, good morning, good evening, wherever you are around the world. Thank you for being here. If you have any questions, please leave them in the chat box. I can see myself. It will be that side? No, it'll be that side, I think.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm trying to be all groovy. So leave them over there if you have any questions, and we will answer them. If you if this is the first time you're joining us live, sometimes we go a little bit slow, and sometimes I do miss questions. So if I do miss your question, just ask it again. But I do try and keep up with them all.
So I was trying to read, but that doesn't work.
Thank you, Scott, who said I look great even with partial makeup. Thank you, I appreciate it. We were going to, oh no, where did it just go?
You just lost it.
Yeah, I had a little, oh there we go, no, it's there. I thought we could, while we're waiting for people to ask us questions, we want to answer some stuff that people normally ask us. Some of our most
asked for
our frequently asked questions. That Peter doesn't like having that section on a website. So we got asked.
Can I do the first one? Can I pick the first one?
Sure.
So I don't know if it's just my age or people younger don't do this, but whenever I watch any YouTube video and I want to know something, I click on description to see if there's something written. The amount of times we get asked, what camera did you use? Like everything we do, if Beck's done her job properly, will be in the description below on any of our YouTubes. But that was my little, what was your next one?
Oh, just leading off from that, I do the same thing, and I even asked my partner the other night if he does, and he said the same thing. He always checks descriptions, so I don't know.
It's like some of the questions we get. So I find it easier just to Google it than if I sent it off to a streamer or a vlogger or what, and then waited for them to answer. I would have Googled it in 5 seconds.
Yeah,
but
I
that's
agree.
just a me thing.
That's just a you thing. We actually have already got questions, so maybe that was just a nice little start.
Capture one. Capture one.
Oh, I was going to touch on that.
All right, you can do it.
But Peter has mentioned before about photographing female models for females. You talk about it when breaking a model. When you photograph male models, who's your target audience? It's a good question.
I think the males. Everything I've shot with males has been for fashion or advertising to males. So my target audience is back to males, and it depends on the demographic that I'm after. Some of the brands I shoot might be like general neutral in the way if they don't mind if they're after straight, gay or whatever. They're just after an actual male as the is their target audience. So I try and make, when I'm shooting a male, to be both ways. So if that makes sense. So I'm trying to make them look good for males who are straight or maybe not straight, so they have the same appealability to them.
Yeah, no, that's like what you say to females. You want females to look good. Yeah, so you just the
same thing.
Same
because
concept.
males will still look at a male with a good body and go, oh shit, I wish I had that, and then have another beer.
Or like me, looking at women with really nice bodies. I'll just have a wine and think about going for that run tomorrow morning that I'm definitely not going to go for.
Yeah, it works a little bit to who I'm shooting for, like what the shoot is for. So if I'm shooting for suit companies, they all give me their demographics. So their suits might be corporate style suits, they might be more lounge suits, whatever. I will tend to direct the model to the target market that we're shooting for.
That makes sense.
Makes sense.
Makes sense, it does. You mentioned about shadow fill in Capture One. Is that right?
Yeah, Capture One's becoming a very hard time for us. So you all know, 90% of studio lighting shooting I do is with the Hasselblad. It's because I love it. The Focus is just the most amazing program. It's only for Hasselblad. It just tethers fully. It's just really easy for me to use. I do shoot Sony's when I'm out and about. I mean, if I want to do super low light, if I want to shoot stuff with I need to shoot fast shutter speeds. If I want to do stuff, all that stuff that I wouldn't use my Hasselblad for, I use a Sony. And with that, I predominantly just shoot to card. I don't shoot tethered. And I normally just bring them into my computer, then open them up in ACR, Adobe Camera Raw.
Yeah, and then put them into Photoshop.
And then, yeah, whatever I've selected from there. And we're doing a thing, I know I'm going to show off now. I have the new A1, it's amazing, but we're going to do a thing on this, and why I'm lifting that up is we're going to, it'll most have to be, it'll either be a long one, we'll definitely be doing it for our Inspire, so it might be a very in-depth one on our Inspire and then try an overview for YouTube. But we're going to shoot tethered to Capture One. I'm going to shoot my Hasselblad X tethered to Focus, so we can do a comparison on the quality of the images and the speed and the ease of tethering.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to bring all photos in to, I'm going to do ACR on, sorry, I'm going to do a Sony on a Capture One RAW, and I'm going to do Sony on ACR RAW, and then I'm going to show what I can and can't do on Capture One. You've got no choice at the moment. If you want to tether with a Sony, a Nikon, or Canon, that really ACR, sorry, Capture One is the only one to use. But I'm still not happy with the little bit of Beck and I did a play the other day with it.
Oh yeah, that took so long just trying to figure it all out and all the menus.
Yeah, there's a learning curve, and there's some things it's done which I'm really liking what it's doing. There's other things which are clunky and hard. But the one thing we did see is the pictures still felt over sharpened, even though we turned the sharpening off. It still felt aggressive.
Felt really, really sharp, yeah.
Yeah, so what I want to do is now do it properly so I can show you a comparison side by side in Photoshop of something out of ACR and something out of Capture One, and then show it compared to what I love the most, which is Hasselblad.
So
oh my God, they're typing like crazy.
Yeah, because you...
I'm glad you can read.
Lucy would like to know if we have any plans to run a workshop in Perth when COVID dies down. We were planning on doing a bit of an Australian tour. Were we?
Yeah, it's a matter of, it's like next weekend Beck was going up to see her dad.
Brisbane,
just had to cancel.
Yeah.
Brisbane. Next weekend, but not Easter weekend, the weekend after, I'm supposed to see my mum up in Cairns. And I'm right on that thing that if they're going to, I can't do 2 weeks in quarantine.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, so
it's just a little bit, but but that's what she said, once it dies down.
If it settles down, our premiers stop trying to run Australia as individual countries and just let's be Australia again.
Yeah, but that's what she's asking, is when it dies down.
Yeah, definitely, because we're not going overseas this year because we can't.
So we'll be doing a big Australian tour once we can.
I saw someone mentioning Nick Cave. Do you feel some inspiration? Love inspiration from music, definitely. There's something, I think it was Nick Cave and, was it Nick Cave? Oh, it might have been Nick Cave and Kylie Minogue did Wild Roses or something. My God, I did 2 photo shoots based on the feel of that song. So yeah, music to me means a lot visually. I can listen to music and see stuff. I think that's what he was asking, but anyway, you go on.
Have you ever used from Gregory, have you ever used a Nanlite lantern softbox?
No. Okay. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I haven't either, honestly.
The one thing people have got to, understand, as being a commercial photographer, we're extremely busy, and I don't go running around looking for new gear or looking for gear because I've got the gear. All the gear I have is the gear I want and I like. I'll only go looking for gear if something I've got's not doing what I want it to do, or I've stumbled across something. Oh, cool! This would be awesome. Like when Roto Light first came out, I would have never bought that in a shop, not in a million years.
But you thought it was cool.
But a rep handed it to me, and I said, I'll have a play. And the first time I pulled it out, I got, this is actually really cool. It looks like cheap junk, but it's really cool. And then from there, the Versa came out with their Paragon, isn't it? Paragos, which is an RGB one. And seriously, I much rather use that stuff than flashes.
Colour.
Yeah, so because using mirrorless, I can set it to see exactly through the viewfinder what I want the finished picture.
Just checking to see no one complained about sound, which they haven't, so that's
Any
good.
thoughts on 907? Yeah, most amazing camera out. Would I buy it? No. It looks good, it looks amazing, but unless you are going to walk around the streets and just be a street photographer, shooting off the back of the screen, it's about the only use for it. No
Is that the
Hasselblad
little
or
one
Hayden,
that
new
you were
one.
looking at?
Yeah, I was looking at. Seriously wanted to, and then it's like I have a 503 and I could drop it on my 503, fine, but now I've got to focus down through here with my bad eyesight. I might as well just throw a film back on my H6, and now I've got a better viewfinder to look through, and I can focus better and still get a nice film picture. So, yeah, really, really good idea. Great. It'll look amazing on a mantelpiece. Sorry, how's the word?
John would like to know, is it wrong that he doesn't charge customers sometimes, especially for headshots when he knows that the artist is struggling at the moment and doesn't have a lot?
Yeah, that stuff is hard. If you charge nothing, you're saying you're worth nothing. And I'll never forget my early days, the amount of bands that said to me, if you look after us now, when we become big and famous, you'll be our photographer. Doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Because as soon as they do their first album, start to break, oh, we're not going to use Peter because he does works for nothing. This guy charges $100 a second. Let's use him because he'll be better. So they won't do it. And same with designers. If a designer, in my early days, I did a lot for alternative fashion, and I found very quickly if I didn't charge anything, I could never ever charge them because they'd go somewhere else rather than pay me. But if I charged them even just a thing like a studio insurance fee or something, $50 or $60, they're already used to paying some money, and it wasn't hard to start charging them properly. So you've just got to be careful to, if you can use the client for your own benefit, fine. But if you're using it, if it's for their benefit, not for your benefit, so if the photos you're taking aren't things you're going to put on your Instagram or your website or whatever, that's a waste of your time.
Yes, I agree.
And all they'll do is tell all their friends that you work for nothing.
Yeah. Brett said congratulations on the A1.
Yeah, look, really can't believe I got it so quick, but
And it does look really nice.
it is nice. The reason, one of the main reasons of getting it is it gives me, I can just go out with one bag, and I've got an A7s and an A7R. And
that's what you shoot when you're on location predominantly.
Yeah.
Have you seen, Juan would like to know if you've seen the new APO Voigtlander lenses for Sony?
No, I haven't. I haven't really been looking at lenses because I'm really happy with the lenses I have. I've got my selection of Otis for my manual. All our video work is done on Bstis, or predominantly on Bstis lenses, which I'm happy with. We've got Sony 24 to 70, 16 to 35, and the 70 to 200. And I've got, pretty much I've got a couple of Leica lenses with adapters and some Hasselblad with lenses. I'm not looking for any more lenses. I've actually found
the ones you like.
The ones I like, unless I saw something that did better than what I'm using. It's easy to spend money, but we just sold like 8 cameras or something.
Yeah.
Because we just had all this camera gear we weren't using. And I sold quite a few lenses about a year ago for the same reason. I just didn't even know the last time I picked up that lens, so what's the use of it sitting there?
That's true. Fabio would like to know, how did you start when you were younger? Which covered, You know what we should do maybe? Maybe we should make a video of like the questions we get asked a lot. Make like an FAQ video.
I told you I don't like frequently asked questions because people should be able to find them. There is actually, there's heaps of interviews with me around, isn't there?
There is, but Peter started shooting bands. I can answer this one, I've heard it that many times. He started off shooting bands and then he moved on to, he had a fishing business and he was taking photos for that, for advertising, and then one of the magazines that he was advertising in really liked his photography, so they said that they wanted to use him and then he became a fishing photographer. Did I get it right?
Yes.
Woo.
Fishing and lifestyle.
And then one day he did a shoot with a model in a studio and fell in love with having the control over it rather than just shooting lifestyle, and told his wife, sorry, but we're gonna go broke, I'm gonna start shooting fashion, and the rest, as they say, is history.
I can go home now, I might just leave Beck here.
This is how you know you've worked with someone for too long.
Thoughts about NFT, I just saw that come up. We have none. We have one of our clients at the moment sending us solicitor things and legal stuff and all of this, trying to find out what they want, and I don't understand it. But
I've got NFI about NFTs.
I did read an article that was interesting that some Chinese guy changed his name to a famous photographer's name and then put a web version of one of his pictures up on it and sold it, and now it's tagged to the Chinese version, the Chinese person. Oh. So he gets all the credit from, but it's got, because nobody's seeing, there's nothing tagging that
that sounds
Jack Jones, is this Jack Jones?
That's like a huge loophole. You'd think they'd fix that up.
Copyright is, I see copyright problems at the moment, and as Beck said the other day, she doesn't want a $100,000 Instagram JPEG.
No, I don't. Like, if I'm going to spend money on art, I want physical art.
Like the one at the end of your hallway.
One right as you walk in the door, and it's a giant painting of myself. I love me. Who do you love? How much time does it take you to prepare and set up on location?
Some places are really quick, other places, it really depends. It depends on the light. It's all about light. So quite often if I'm shooting on a beach or out in the open where there's no trees or buildings, it's really quick. So I just find the direction of wherever the sun is and work either with the sun or against the sun, and then work my backgrounds to it. So when we did that beach shoot, it didn't take me long to start shooting at all, did it? It's like 5 minutes.
No, the longest was walking to the location.
But if put me in a forest or in the city with big buildings, it's really going to depend on the light. If I got full sun, it won't take me long at all to find good light. But if it's cloudy and overcast, it might take me half an hour.
Yes. Dara would like to know why I drink so much. Because I like it. Now, me having a glass of wine in every video has kind of turned into a little bit of a...
It's a joke.
It's a joke now. Like, I do really like wine, but
she would never normally be having a wine.
No, I normally don't drink at this
We're
time
doing
of
this
day as a joke, because I was stressed before, but...
She was stressed, 2 hours of stress.
But when I get home from work, I only have I'll have like a glass, and then I'll have like another glass with dinner, and that's kind of like, I actually don't... It's played up as a joke for you guys. I'm actually not a raging alcoholic. Believe me, you probably don't believe me, but anyways.
And I proved I wasn't alcoholic. I went...
In a couple of days without having a drink.
No, it was a couple of minutes.
If you didn't drink for like 2 or 3 days.
I know. I drink it because I like it. I don't drink it because I have to drink it.
Yeah,
anyway.
And I'm the same. And we just do it.
It's like photography. I'm a photographer-holic. Well, you see what happens to me when I haven't shot for a bit.
Yeah, you do go a little bit loopies. Joshua said, if you had to only use one lens universally for everything, which one would you use on a camera with an ASPC sensor?
Oh.
Did that just like change your answer?
Yeah, it did. Well, it did, because I'd want a lens that I could do really nice shallow depth of field, things like that. For what I shoot now, and I could only use an ASP sensor, I would most likely be on 100 mil at the shallowest depth of field I could get on 100 mil. Or if I could only have one lens, I'd most likely go something like 70 to 200. which is going to go even longer on ASC. But the whole reason I shoot medium format is to get away from small sensors so I can get beautiful depth of field.
That's okay.
ASPCs are smaller.
I'm actually like understanding.
Things. That's like your old 64s
yeah,
and 500s.
That's what I was thinking in my head. I understand
upgraded
things
you
now.
to full sensors.
I've upgraded my brain in photography knowledge. I'm so smart.
There's lots of questions.
I know.
Stop talking.
Which of your videos show the proper way to achieve rim lighting? I can't find it.
Um,
Oh, and Brett said thank you.
rim lighting.
What's rim lighting?
There's stuff on Inspire when we did the.
Is it direction and contrast? What do you do?
Yeah, contrast and contrasts more.
Yeah.
We'll show it if they're on Inspire.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've done anything on YouTube yet.
We haven't.
But rim lighting, yeah, I treat it a little bit different. Everyone points their lights from behind. I don't. I point them across.
So
and yeah.
If you're on Inspire, it's in lighting and then direction and contrast of light, and watch the contrasting of light.
Or they can watch the one with Jackson, the two.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I
Jackson.
did.
Yes, Jackson's lighting.
What was that
body,
called?
Lighting the body.
Lighting the body. Yeah, that's
But
got
they're
definitely.
both on Inspire. I can't think of one on YouTube. Where
We haven't
rim
yet.
lighting.
We'll have to do one.
There we go. And
It's not something I actually do much myself.
Yes. Rob would like to, let's say, hello Rob. In Peter's action set, dodge and burn layers are set to luminosity. I was watching an old YouTube video from June last year and they were set to normal. What determines which mode to use?
Luminosity is more if you're doing it in colour.
Okay.
If you're in black and white, it doesn't make any difference at all. If your image is black and white, but if you're doing a image in colour, and this applies to whenever you're using curves on a colour picture. And the best thing is put an aggressive curve on, put like a contrast curve on your picture, and then change the blending mode to a luminosity, and you'll see the difference of what happens to the hue and saturation of the picture. So quite often, if I'm going to put curves and that onto somebody on a colour picture, I will change that layer to luminosity, so it's only affecting the luminosity of the picture, it's not affecting the saturation of the picture. You didn't get a single thing I said of that, did you? No.
I'm pretending. How good's my poker face?
That's it.
Yes.
Yes.
Me too. David would like to know what made you get the A1 and what are your quick thoughts on the image quality?
I wasn't going to get it. I actually contacted one of the artisans, or whatever they call them in Australia, had to talk to them, and for about a couple of weeks I thought, nah, I don't need it. Then I watched something on Philip Bloom and a couple of other people, and it opened up my eyes a little bit different. I've been using the A7R3, 100% happy with it. The A7R4 lost some of its dynamic range and also not so good with low light. And I saw some of the little things that the A1 did, and it also allowed me to have the A7S III in the same body, which none of the other cameras had. So it gave me the dynamic range I wanted out of the same dynamic range I was going to get out of the A7R3, and give me the quality of video that I get with the A7S III in one body, and with all the cameras that I could sell. The gear I've sold is paid for it plus some. So it means I don't have to have as many bodies when I go out. If I'm just going to have to fly up to Sydney or something, I can just go with one single body. I can do video to the quality I want my videos and do stills. I can shoot at night time. The 50 megapixel means nothing to me. It doesn't mean anything, and I really wish I'd seen this thing that Photoshop had done, because I haven't tried it yet, but everything I can see, I should have stuck with the A7S III and just used the Photoshop RAW that takes it 4 times the size. So it takes a 12 megapixel to 48 megapixel with that beautiful dynamic range.
You were very happy when you found that out the other day.
I know, I was extremely happy. So look, if you want to save money, get the A7S III, and just any picture that you really like, you'll be able to shoot at 12 megapixels, so you're not clogging up heaps and heaps of friggin' memory. Yeah. Anyway, I'll be doing some more stuff on that too.
Well,
just time in day. It's a bit.
Yeah, we have been pumping out heaps of videos lately, which is great for everyone watching, but it takes so much of our time.
It takes a lot of time.
Editing.
And at the same time, we've been stuck in Melbourne for over a year.
It would be so nice. I was so excited to sit in the Qantas lounge next week and hop on a plane, go up north, and now I can't. I have to stay here.
But we're so used to 6-7 months a year not in Melbourne and not in Australia. So we've been really stuck, and the fashion industry, especially Melbourne, that's non-existent anymore. So we've had to do direction changes. We are getting back into shooting fashion, but we're going to do it our way. We're going to shoot it, then sell it, rather than get people to pay us to do it. We're going to shoot it and sell it, and we've already shown it works, and it's worked perfect the first one we did.
Flips is it? Joe, I would like to know what your opinion on shooting many genres versus being a specialist and shooting one genre. I like shooting many genres, but I've been told I need to specialise in one in order to be successful.
Depends on where you want to make your money from. It's
Bug.
It's a little bit like if you look at an actor like Hugh Jackman, you can put him in thousands of different roles.
Yeah.
But a director's not going to say, I need an actor like Hugh Jackman. Whereas if you think of someone like The Rock, he can only do one thing, but a director will say, I want someone like The Rock.
Yeah.
So that's all it is if you specialise in one area, you stand out for that one area. So people will actually use you as a reference, and then they'll say, well, why don't we just book him?
But then your clients still book you for colour.
Yeah, well, I don't understand that. Yeah, so most people see, like I put a colour picture up last night and everyone thought I'd fallen over.
Colour?
It looked better in black and white, I thought though. I did it for the makeup artist.
I know you did, but anyways, I was just making fun and derailing you, answering.
Yeah, so there's two different ways. If you're trying to make money, it's got both sides. If you just specialise in one thing and that thing's not in vogue today, you've got no work.
But tomorrow it might be.
But tomorrow it might be, and then you make trillions.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're a jack of all trades, which means basically you're going to start winning jobs based on being a bit cheaper or being very professional, being quick, things like that. You're not going to get it because you're a jack of all trades.
Yes. Makes sense. Martin says, hello Peter, you mentioned once one feature that would be nice having shadow and highlight warnings in the EVF together. Olympus has this feature, but it's an MFT sensor.
Oh right, yeah, no, Sony has it, but that's on the, when you preview a picture, it'll show you highlights and shadows. So the highlights will flash black and the shadows flash white. In the viewfinder, it can only do ZBring, and ZBring only affects a little area that you tell it to go off.
Wouldn't it be like so much going on if both things were flashing?
Look, most cases I don't need a shadow warning. Okay. So most of the time I'm exposing to the right to get as much information as I can onto the sensor. So I don't want to clip, but I'm going to try and take everything as far this way so I do have protection in my shadows. But yeah, it doesn't always work. We just need 20 stop camera.
Okay.
Not going to happen.
No. Michael says, you've mentioned Helmut Newton as a photographer who you admired and learned from. Who else have you learned from and how has it helped you?
Peter Lindbergh, but he's a hindrance to me. Because I keep seeing pictures of his and going, oh, I want to take that. Yeah, but there's lots of photographers. There's so many different photographers that have little influences on me. People like Irving Penn, he has this ability to get people completely out of their comfort zone and get amazing pictures. And you've got Avedon, Patrick De Michele is amazing in Studio One Light. I'm gonna miss hundreds. I don't have much Nick Knight stuff that I put up, but he's just incredible what he does. You know, these latest exhibitions on iPhone photos of roses shot in his kitchen, and they're 1.4 meters high, and they just look like artwork. They're incredible. So,
He posted a snippet from the Lady Gaga thing for her birthday the other day, and I was like, oh, I love that shit. That's my input.
That's your input. But yeah, look, there's lots, and there's some, Alan von Unwerth, the way she shoots women is only she could do it. She gets women doing stuff that if you said this was what the shoot was, 2 naked women having a mud fight, you're going to just go down the gutter with that.
Yeah,
but then when you see her
cancelled.
version of it, you go, oh my God, this is incredible. Because it hasn't got that trashiness about it. It's, yeah. So there's lots of people. I don't tend to look for inspiration much anymore because I can't find it. I find that everything is very the world has been over-censored, everyone's, I don't know, it's getting boring, especially fashion, but I saw something, Alexander McQueen's latest video, like walking up the Thames in the mud with those women in the gowns.
Really
it's just amazing. And I saw a Dior thing the other day, which was really cool. So fashion looks like it's starting to get cool again.
That's good. I finally found music I like as well, which is exciting. That took me a very long time. Apparently it's really late in Europe. I'm sorry for people that are joining us in Europe. Thank you so much for staying up. Next one that we do will be targeted at a nice convenient time for those in Europe. But if you are joining us in Europe, we appreciate you staying up till early in the morning. Ruben said he's checking out the back catalogue of our videos. Thank you. There is lots to get through and lots of silliness. Leon said, because I remind her of Catwoman or Michelle Pfeiffer, Peter, can you do a Catwoman shoot with Beck? I love that suit that she wears when she's up, but I would need to get up for my 6 a.m. runs that I'm not getting up for before I could do that. She looks incredible.
We just get latex and then put a vacuum cleaner on the back and suck it.
No, that's why I need to go for a run. Carsten says he's seen some of your clips where you used Profoto and Broncolor in the same set. Did you notice any colour shifts between the 2 brands when shooting in the same set?
You're going to get colour shift from 2 different heads, 2 different soft boxes. Like if you get 2 soft boxes, even if the same brand, they're going to have a different colour anyway. So that's why I shoot black and white. No, commercially, because of Broncolors, I can very easily change my colour within the pack. So I can set up my background using Profotos or the background using Broncolor, and then I can tune the whatever to the other. So the way the pack works is I've got a lot of fine-tuning ability, because a lot of people don't realise if you run one head at say 5 and another head at 10, you've got a different colour. The one running at 5 is going to be more orange and the one running at 10 is going to be more blue. So just within the same brand of light, with the different powers, it's going to give you different colour temperatures. On the Broncolor packs, I can have it set to optimum colour, so I can run them off the same pack and they're going to get the optimum colour.
Won't a different modifier change the colour?
Yeah, every modifier is going to change the colour. So I'm not doing work that requires that sensitivity of colour. A lot of people do it on purpose to get a cinematography feel too. But if I was doing that work, with the Hasselblad I can do things like scene calibration, so I can have different calibrations throughout the actual picture. But it's just not the stuff I do. My clients are more about emotion. They're not so technical. They're more about the emotion of the picture, not, oh, there's a 2-degree shift in colour. And then you send it to a retoucher and they completely stuff it.
We're really far behind. I'm so sorry that we're running far behind in questions, guys. As I said, if you're new here, we talk a lot. Lucy would like to know what is the best way to approach a pro photographer to work alongside them. I've contacted pro photographers in the past and offered to pay to learn from them, but seldom get a response.
Yeah, because you're going to slow us down. And as Beck knows, every extra person in a room is more pressure on the model. So well, I know firsthand, I definitely don't perform well, more eyes that are on me. I kind of get all nervous. So if anything, you're going to put the set the whole day off. It's another person. You can't assist me because can you get me an extension cord?
Where are they?
Where are they? No, not that one. No, not that one. I'll get. So it doesn't speed my day up at all. Seriously, if you want to learn,
Just organise like a mentoring, like I think a mentoring session would be better than like assisting someone.
Yeah, pay someone to give you a bit of a mentor, but don't ask them to critique your work. No, just, you can ask them questions, but you're so much better just to grab a model of whatever you're shooting and shoot it. And keep shooting it. You'll end up being your style, which means you'll stand out from everyone else.
Did you do a mentoring session once so where you were mentoring someone, but we also got a model in and you kind of helped them with the shoots? Instead of them assisting you, you were kind of assisting them?
Yeah, Canada. Was it? No, so that was in, we did that in Milan. Remember? We had Anne as a model. Oh no, they had their own model to go in Milan. So they actually got me to come in to assist them within their studio. And I worked within the genre they were trying to do and help them set up their lighting within the studio. And we're about to do that with Stacey's studio anyway. We're going to do a tutorial on that.
So that's probably a better way to go about it rather than you help them, get them to help you.
Yeah, but pay for them that.
But oh, Chris is here with the podcast. Chris Carl from the UK. Podcast.
Oh, Chris, sorry.
Hello.
Hi, Chris. Sorry, you know
Peter, he's had a few people message him to tell me what they think of your work after you're on the podcast, just wondering why you think you're such a magnet for these people.
I don't know. Because, all right, one thing I do know, camera clubs, most people in camera shops, lots and lots of Instas, YouTubes and things like that, everyone just gets stale and technical, and I know myself, and it's something I'm going to do as one in the future. I'm actually going to get a book with a lighting setup and set it up as the book says and show you how crap it looks. Because you can't do lighting like that.
Light by numbers?
You can't light by numbers. It just doesn't work. Every room has a different feel, every model has a different feel. You change your clothes, you change your... All of that stuff makes a big difference to a photo. So I think people might get attracted to Beck and follow me more for the thing as I'm saying, go out and play. Don't... Like, we can give you some, hey, this works. Now, grab it, but don't copy it. Play with it yourself till you get your look out of it.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's because what you're saying is so different and refreshing to what other people are saying. Everyone else seems to say the same, like, technical in this little box thing, whereas you're like, nah, we don't need any of that.
I was watching something last night, and I'm not going to mention the name of the photographer, and I think he had like 800,000 followers, but I looked at, you're about to pull that off.
My nose
He had about 800,000 followers, and I was watching this thing, and I was just looking at the picture going, that's revolting, not one of my clients would book me to shoot that. And I think that's the problem with a lot of the stuff that's out there is all this technical, this is how you do this, but the finished product didn't look that appealing, so why would you do it? Like in this day and age, three-point lighting and all of that stuff, that's just, you don't see that commercially. Anyway,
Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah, that's right, you learned.
Clef would like to know what is my favourite light setting. Would it have to be Octa from... Is it Octa from the side that I like? Yeah.
What's your favourite picture?
My favourite picture?
It can't be an iPhone picture.
I think it's Octa from the side.
High and off to the side a little bit.
Yeah, high up to the side,
not
or
completely
clamshell.
off to the side. Clamshell.
Or
She loves her
clamshell.
clamshells.
Those are my two favourites.
Oh, what about doorway light?
Doorway light's pretty nice. Doorway light makes my skin look really good. Martin said, saw your last Inspire with Rara and smaller lights. Great how you work with light as always. Would be nice to see you use a simple flash and how you would work with that.
No difference. Just a small flash is a flash. The only thing is the cheaper ones just they vary a lot. That's the only difference, in the quality of colour varies. But I shoot with on-camera flash. In fact, we've got so many things planned to do. I've got 2 crates of stuff I've accumulated over the years and never used. And I was going to do lighting with it, and some of them are like torches. And really, I was going to show.
Cool. Let's do that.
I'm just going to do torches and bedside lamps and these old ice lights and these tiny little cube lights and
that's cool.
all these things that sort of flopped because I'm a bit of a gimmick. But then I can show you how to light with it because it doesn't really matter. It's about working the light source and working your contrast and your directions.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, we'll do that.
I'm trying to fix my hair. I'm like
it's not about you.
It's always about me. Chris also would like you to do more dance shoots on Inspire.
Got to find dancers in Melbourne.
That's what I was literally about to say.
All my dancers are not. Although we got Lizzie that we're doing some.
Yeah,
we're doing shoot with Lizzie, and we'll get her back. But even Jackson's now up in Sydney. All my other ones, like Audrey's stuck in LA. All my dancers are overseas because again, Melbourne is the capital of dance, like it is fashion. Not. We get all the great dancers. They learn here and then
they leave.
No.
But once we get dancers, I love dance. Like they make me jealous.
No, it's a different type of dance that you love.
No, whenever you have like actual dance, like whenever we have actual dancers in here, they all just make me feel really untalented. Like I watch them do stuff, and I'm like, oh, I really can't do anything, can I? But it's still fascinating to watch.
Gigi, yes, I do use my Hassie. I love my Hassie. The A1 is will never be my, I won't say never, but it's not my main camera, it's a second camera. I said earlier that 80-90% of my studio work is on Hasselblad. And even when I went we'd done a couple of beach shoots this year, and I use the Hasselblad a lot. I use the X a lot.
Yes. Michael said when he first saw our post with the live stream, he thought, all he saw was New York and LA and got excited and thought that we were announcing travel dates.
Well, at the moment, Qantas has said they're not flying till at least October.
But that's still...
I know, but the government hasn't said we can come back into... Although maybe we don't come back. We must like just stay overseas.
I'm sick of this place. This is the first year in a very long time that I have not caught on the past 12 months is the first year in a very long time I have not jumped on a plane. That's weird.
We don't go a month without being on a plane.
Well, sometimes.
No, Sydney, I'm talking overseas, I'm talking normally.
Yeah, sometimes maybe it's like maybe there is a solid, maybe just 1 month. Anyway. What do you think about a fog machine?
Yeah, got them. Fog machines are hard with flash though, because if you get too much fog, your flash goes off and it's just white. Fog machines and bubble machines and all of that stuff. Yeah, it's all. It's not. I did it when I was starting. I used fog and stuff like that a bit, but it's not really what I do.
I just remembered when Jared put the smoke machine off.
Oh,
at
and
the
set
club
off the smoke alarms.
And then we had to get the firefighters at the club.
But yeah, I've got 2 foggers out there. I used to have actually, when he did the bands, one of the bands had the old metal band, I can't think of their name, Iron Maiden's dry ice machine. Actually had all the Iron Maiden stickers on it from when they were in tour, but not really my thing. I saw something come up on YouTube the other day with a guy putting the car into the water and fogging up around the water and all of that. It's awesome, but that's not what I do.
Fair enough. You've built walls, cubes. What other wood construction projects have you done for a photo shoot?
We build full sets, full rooms from scratch. I haven't done, because when we travel we don't tend to do that. And a lot of my clients have gone away from...
Peter built this like whole studio.
Well, yeah, no, I didn't build the walls or roof. I just did everything inside. Yeah.
And you built your table that your computer's on. He's very clever.
No, grew up with handyman.
I can't remember who I was telling someone that you had to fix my tap a few weeks ago, and they were like, "Oh, he knows how to fix stuff as well." I was like, "Yeah."
He pours me wine
Pointless
and
stories
me
from
tap.
back. Do you think that, Daria would like to know, do you think that with what 35mm cameras are growing, the medium format will disappear?
Medium format is disappearing, but that's because everyone is caught up on megapixels. They're not looking at size of sensor and size of pixels. So to me, the most ultimate camera in the world would be something like a 24 megapixel, full frame, proper medium format sensor. that made by Sony and in collaboration with Zeiss and Hasselblad, so we can use the Focus software and some Zeiss glass, would be incredible because we'd have amazing dynamic range, would have incredible low light, it would be perfect. But everybody out there is megapixel stupid. All they want is more megapixels, even though they never print anything. Oh, I want to be able to shoot from a mile away and crop in on it. Buy a longer lens or walk closer. Like, that's not photography, is cropping in on something because you want to be sloppy and slack. Like the bird photographers and things like that, I get it, but for everybody else, I don't get it. I really, you want to get a great picture, you need to move with your subject, you need to have your cropping camera. It makes you feel your picture better, which means you can portray an emotion. It is so hard for me to crop a picture after the fact. Like even cropping stuff for YouTube thumbnails and that, like cropping it, I don't like that crop, but I have to have it there. I don't like it.
I don't like it. Raymond says he has one of the roto lights and doesn't think he's using it as effectively as he could. Do you plan on some kind of roto light tutorial for Inspire or YouTube?
We already do have one on both. We've got the nighttime shoots with
the Rara. Oh yeah.
We normally, when we're traveling, if we run a workshop at nighttime, we teach on that because it's just a matter of balancing the light.
So we could do that.
We could do that.
We should do that. Why don't we do that?
Well, Inspire's already got one, so we did that one with Shiori and all of that.
That was before my time.
That was before your time. We could do another one. Yeah. We just got to. Well, now that we're allowed outside without a mask on, we can. What are you laughing about?
We can go outside without a mask on. Well, I don't do all of my makeup to then just cover it up. It's pointless. Anyways, Clef would like to know, how can they create a glowy skin with their beauty dish? Do you have a special oil for that?
What's just happened?
Adobe Flash Player.
I just put picture in picture.
What did you do?
I didn't. I was sitting here like this. That's gone now. I don't know what it did. It still looks like
live.
It's still live. Glowy, I don't like dewy face skin because it always looks like they've been at the gym and worked out.
Sweaties.
The
banana boat? Sunscreen.
I'm not on face.
Oh. No, skin though.
On skin, yeah, just a banana. On the skin, I had to use
just
the banana boat aerosol. That's my favourite because you can spray it. If you don't rub it, it's super shiny. One wipe with a hand, it takes half the shine off. The other thing that I got back in the days used to shoot alternative is some of the latex people would use it's a sex gel. Carmen, that Beck keeps stealing out of it. No. Well, you laugh and you're going to cop it. It's a sex gel which is really expensive. I can't even remember the name.
Isn't it pure?
Pure something. But, yeah. And with it, because it's not made of petrochemicals, it means when you put it onto skin and you can wet it and it doesn't rainbow like things like baby oil or leave rainbowy type colouring. Mm-hmm. So it's actually really good, but it's expensive as hell. You get it on your hands and you can't even pick up a camera, it just would slide out of your hands. The effect's good, but it's not as easy to take back a little bit. You've got to do a fair bit of wiping to take it back, whereas I find the aerosol...
But it's very shiny.
It's very shiny.
Very, very shiny. What is your main photo editor software and your favourite lens?
The favourite lens is anything but around the sort of 100 to 135. If I talk, my favourite lens is the Hasselblad 100mm f2.2. On my Sony, my favourite lens is, it's hard. The lens that lives on is the Otis 100. But I really like the 135 f2 lens. I really like that. I just don't use it very often because it's more a portrait lens. But then Beck and I, we were shooting fashion the other day and I got to shoot my wide again and I absolutely
that was so cool. It made my limbs look so long and lankies.
So lankies. So when again, it's what I'm shooting. There's not one lens. There's a Russian guy that uses a 35mm lens amazingly on portraiture. I wish I could do that. Anyway, next.
That's cool.
Oh, favourite software for editing, I only use Photoshop and I don't like editing, so.
Do you have any art education? Did you try and draw or paint, like art, like drawing, painting education? And have you ever done
I've never done any schooling on it, but as a kid, I used to draw like all the time. That's why I think I got into fashion, because I used to collect old newspapers and magazines, so mainly things like Vogue, and then I would be drawing the women in Vogue. So from that side of things, yeah, and I just like arty shit because there's no rules. I don't like stuff that has too many rules. Like life.
When editing your photos, do you ever use frequency separation? Personally,
Never.
dodge and burn, but wondering if I should really work more in learning frequency separating. As a model, please don't. I've seen what it does to
Frequency
skin.
separation is for lazy retouches.
But all I can think of is that photo that you showed me where.
As soon as you print it, I don't care how good you are at it, as soon as you print it, you will see the edge of your lassos, you'll see everything. It makes skin not look like real skin, it looks like CGI, computer generated skin. All high-end retouchers, I'm talking about the people who retouch for high-end magazines, would never use it. I use frequency separation for selective radius sharpening, which is very hard to explain. I don't even need it anymore. I don't do it anymore, but that was the only time I used it, was to be able to put a certain radius of sharpening at different levels in different areas. And it was more for when I was shooting beauty industry years ago, so it still looked 100% natural, but we could have this beautiful progression to a sharpness in the eye that didn't make the eye look like a marble or over-sharpened piece of rubbish. But yeah, frequency separation, yeah. Learn how to dodge and burn on a layer with 1% flow.
It still creeps me out watching you do it though. Like, I don't get it, but it's magic.
It's magic.
Magic. I don't get it, but I love it.
Well, I'll do another retouching thing for
whenever you're doing
YouTube.
a retouch like for Inspire, you obviously don't notice because you can't see, but I always turn around and have a little peek at what you're doing because it's so interesting. Anyways, random input from Beck once again. I still think Beck should do a tutorial on how she prepares her hair and eyes before a shoot. The transformation is really terrific. Thank you very much.
How she prepares her hair. She
sleeps
on it and then she gets up in the morning.
I think the most I might do, sometimes I might just
pour some wine through it.
Sometimes I just kind of run a straightener over it or maybe put like some waves in it, but I really don't do anything to my hair. It's just the mop that lives on my head. I washed it last night, that's why it's fluffy. But
you have your pretty good doof hair when you get a doof and come back 4 days without a shower.
I washed it last night, but that was the first time I've washed it in about 10 days, which I know sounds disgusting, but you're not supposed to wash your hair every day.
I saw things crawling out of it the other day.
My makeup, I could do like, I guess I could. I'm not a makeup artist. I'm really not that good at makeup. So, but I could do something.
You can do something.
I could do something. Peter, you used a variable ND filter. So many people warn against using them because of X vignetting and color cast. Not applicable for your black and white, of course. Any comments?
And vignetting, I tend to put in because I'm trying to get old school feels of old lenses that are all vignetted. I'm only using my ND filters to be able to shoot super shallow depths of field, which means I'm chasing that filmic look. I'm chasing not an expensive lens look. So I have certain lenses that give me certain looks, and that's why I use them. It's because I'm not after. Like the Otis are amazing, but sometimes they're just too perfect. And I'll take off my Otis and throw on something else because it is too perfect. I'm not getting a fall off, I'm not getting a distortion I'm looking for. I don't have problems with all of that stuff. That, to me, this comes down to camera club stuff. If you speak to an artist, they will use the brush that gives them the look that they want. And it could be the cheapest brush in the world. but it's giving them the look that they want. I use my camera lens as my gear the same way. I pick the gear that gives the look that I'm trying to create. I do not shoot stuff for galleries. I don't do any of that. I used to do Duclays for rich painters, but I don't even do that anymore. So I'm not after getting that precise, perfect. I don't do architecture and all of that stuff. And I have tilt shift lenses. I use them differently. I use a tilt shift lens to distort my depth of field. Cool.
Cool. Gigi is a little confused because she thought that you always shot Hasselblad because of the medium format, so she's confused why the A1, which is a full frame.
Well, because I can't, there's lots of places I can't use my Hasselblad. Like low light. Like in pouring rain, I'm not going to go out with my Hasselblad, I'll go out with a Sony. Like in really dusty environments, if I need to shoot quick, motor drive, Hasselblad does not have motor drive.
Really?
Well, not
yeah, actually,
20 frames a second.
No. I don't know why I'm surprised with that.
Autofocus face detector, someone runs down the beach, I don't have that on a Hasselblad. There's so many things. The Hasselblad I predominantly use
in the studio.
Or an environment that I feel it's designed to work in. It's not a sports camera, it was never designed to be.
Yeah. Will there be shirts with Peter on them? I think it should be Peter with camera saying eyes. I have a Peter shirt, but it's the only one, it's one of a kind. I think Peter might kill me if I put it on sale.
You can sell it. You have to sign it.
I have to sign them, but it's black. How am I going to sign it in white textile? Love your t-shirts with models on them. Speaking of, what are some lighting and modeling tips for doing t-shirts? We have one on Inspire, I think.
Modeling for t-shirts? Oh, that's right. Was that only for Inspire though? Stop plugging our friggin' channel and not doing one for YouTube. Yeah, predominantly. All right. So I used to have a client in the fashion industry that had a t-shirt printer and put it in here, and we did some experiments with them to do some stuff for his company. What I did find out, you really want to stick to just white or black, and if you're going to shoot something on white, you want to shoot it on a white background, like this one. So this was shot...
I can't see because your laptop's in the way.
Like this one. It's like that one. See how it's all white around it? And you have to do a local contrast and over sharpen the crap out of it. Like this picture as a JPEG looks disgusting. Really? Yeah, because when it gets printed onto it loses the sharpness. So you have to really over sharpen it. And when you're putting something on black, which means you're going to print white onto black, you want to have a slight area behind them like my halo, which isn't black. So at least their hair doesn't get lost in, they look like they're bald. That would be about two things I'd say. So all use blonde-headed girls on black shirts.
Yeah.
And blackheads on white shirt.
It's brown.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about going black again though. I'm not that good at Spanish, Javier, I'm sorry, I'll have to put that into Google Translate. Ron said, did you follow Peter Gowland, or are you not old enough to remember him?
No, I know him. I didn't really follow him a lot, but yeah, I'm old enough to know of him. I'm pretty old.
I couldn't even say his name. I need to look up
Gowland.
Spanish.
Oh, you're doing your Googles on it. While you do that, I'll try and catch you up.
Oh no, I'll get there. I'll quickly jump back.
You can do your Googles while I'm answering.
No.
It's just I see
did you train yourself to be a photographer, or did you teach yourself? Did you train to be a photographer, or did you teach yourself everything?
Self-taught. I'm not good with schoolings. And
you got kicked out of school. Well.
Yeah, no, played. Got in studios and played. Like originally when I was shooting the fishing stuff, I started off on P for Professional, and then I really stepped it up and went for S for Superman. Because I was shooting fish, jumping, I started just going on to shutter priority. Then I started still having problems where exposure still, and this was back in the day shooting film. Then I got shown about a light meter and then used that, and then my pictures started to fall into place so much easier. but it frustrated me on overcast sun. So I started trying to bracket in shutter priority, or if I was doing stuff in creeks in aperture priority, whatever. Digital came out, and not long after digital came out, I could throw my light meter away because I could just do my test shoot. And when stuff like that, I used to shoot Polaroid backs when we needed to get a cover of a magazine and needed to set it up. But yeah, it just, whenever I was doing things like playing, I'd go through a whole roll of film just playing with depth of field settings, and just have, it might have been a fishing, like a fly rod with a reel on and some flies on a rock and that, and I would shoot all different apertures and different things to work out what worked the best. And then when I'd get my film back, there'd be one black frame, and then it would muck up the notes I'd written down. Oh shit, with that black frame, is this depth of field or this depth of field? But a lot of it was just trial and error.
Yes.
Lots of mistakes. Lots of just
He still makes them, like hiring me. Self-deprecating humour is amazing. Javier said that I don't know if it's me or you, I'm assuming me though, spent the summer in whiter than milk, should sunbathe more. Greetings from Spain. Well, yes, I am very white, but we didn't really get much of a summer, unfortunately.
No, we only had one 40-degree day.
Everyone thinks that because we're in Australia, it must be really warm here, but we live in Melbourne, which is cold.
Oh, we're in that wet cycle anyway.
And it's cold.
Cold.
And I prefer to fake tan. I don't like going out in the sun because that's why I still get asked for ID when I go to buy my wine. Woohoo. If Capture One is too sharp, everyone said if Capture One's too sharp, you should do negative on the structure.
Yeah, zoom in at 100% and have a look at that.
What does it do?
Puts like this weird softening thing on. Yeah, no, we are doing, it's going to take us 2 days to film a thing, and I'll just show you all the reasons why I don't like. But yeah, no, I've played around with structure slider, but the structure slider only really works when you actually start using, that doesn't do a great deal open, well, not that I could see, it only did, but I didn't like the effect. It's like pulling texture off in ACR. I don't know, the feathering between what was sharp and what wasn't sharp, but we shouldn't have to do that. They shouldn't be over sharpening, because my pictures out of a Sony aren't that sharp, which means they are digitally sharpening my raws, and I don't want that. Shut up, next question. There's lots of people hanging out there for you to ask their question.
Glenn would like to know what's the size of the movable backgrounds that you've made.
Most of them are 1.2 metres tall by 2.4 metres wide, and the L coming back is 2.4 by 2.4 by 1.2 is the L by 2.4 tall.
I think we put the dimensions in the video.
It should be all on the video. Yeah, so going back on YouTube,
I'm pretty sure if I did my job.
If you did your job. If she hasn't, send a message.
And get me in troubles. Martin said if you're in Germany one day near Cologne, send him a text and he will take us to the Nurburgring for a ride. Yeah,
I know, but I wanted to go with Mina. I was so upset when she passed. But anyway, yeah, I definitely want to do Nurburgring. 100%. I got my sim pedal back, 5 weeks without my sim pedal.
That's exciting.
And yeah,
I know what you're doing all weekend.
I'm actually helping my freaking son-in-law pave, because I used to do landscaping. So I have to pave his driveway for him.
Jeez. You're just always helping someone with something broken at their house.
I know.
People are saying, sorry, they're late. That is okay.
We're behind anyway.
We're behind.
We're late every day.
Ruben said
Beck is.
No, I'm never. Ow, I spit my tongue. Ruben said the cool thing about you is that you don't follow the rules, and that's why he gravitates to the channel. Plus, we're hilarious, allegedly. That's subjective.
We just laugh at ourselves a lot.
We get told off for laughing, actually.
Oh yeah, we've got quite a few comments about
the horrible
stupid,
intros to
giggling,
our videos and the juvenile introductions.
Oh, sorry, we should change it to the juvenile.
We should be really serious all the time and just talk about numbers and technical stuff.
We could do that. Not. Sorry, we don't put on an act. This is what we are. It's amazing. Our clients love us for it.
Yeah, they're this is just us.
Yeah.
Where am I up
I don't
to?
know.
It just refreshed. Sorry, give me uno momento.
During clone, you've done that. Just joined the party late.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
done that.
using the Sony A7 III with Canon 85. Autofocus doesn't seem to work effectively. Is that normal? Just bought the camera.
Depends on the adapter you're using, because you have to have a Canon to Sony adapter. Some of the adapters you've got to update their firmware because the firmware comes out on it isn't correct. Sometimes the adapters and connectors don't work properly. When I have my Canon gear, I'd quite often, if it came up with not seeing the lens, you'd have to take the adapter off the camera and off the lens, put it all back together and put it in. But one of the best reasons in the world on the Sony is it's peaking, so you can just manually focus, and you never have searching with manually focus. It never hunts because you just go, it's in focus, click.
Yeah.
It never sits there going,
Yeah, sometimes even I find manual focusing easier with video, depending on what I'm filming.
I'm not sure if you want, look, it's really nice with the new eye detections and things like that. It makes it quick and easy and slack. But when we did that shoot on the beach, I ended up not liking any of those pictures too. I went back to all the manual focus stuff I did. So I threw a 70-200 on for a bit, but I much preferred my manual focus stuff. So it is a skill that everyone should teach themselves, because creative focusing is a whole new way of telling a story. But yeah, if you're using a Metabones, just check that you're on your latest firmware upgrade. If you're on, I don't know much about there's another adapter you can get, I can't remember, it's another lens company. If you're on that one, I'm not sure. I just Google it.
Google's it.
So that's what I would be doing. That's the first place I normally go when something doesn't work. There's always someone whinging. YouTube. In fact, I normally go YouTube first. I normally find I can get an answer quicker on YouTube. Google gives you ads. YouTube just gives you videos.
I just skip the ads. Great to finally catch you two live. Have a lot of fun watching YouTube. Most photographers today just Photoshop their pics to death. Thank you very much.
My aim is if I can do a picture in under 5 minutes, that's my aim.
Yeah, that's why people get scared when I quote them on retouching, and I'm like, no, but like, he's not going to take an hour per photo. He does them very quickly.
Yeah, although the commercial shoot we did on the weekend, she was all worried how many to pick, and I said, well, it depends how fussy you want me to be, but if you're happy for me just to do a quick clean, you're looking only 3 to 4 minutes per picture
photo,
maximum.
So you can pick heaps of them.
Yep.
Just depends. Frank, hello Frank, wants to know what's your favourite composition? Or is that something you do as preference or because of clients?
There's a few things that I do predominantly, well, I only shoot unless a client wants otherwise, and I just say I've got megapixels, so I can crop it. For them, I do that. But my eyes see landscape, so I tend to shoot only landscape. I spent a lot of my life shooting on a square format camera, so you never turned it anyway. So I got used to that, and that whole rule of thirds thing, I don't know, it doesn't, too many hit and misses, whereas if I stick it in the center, my clients can put text either side of something, I can content aware a little bit either side.
It just gives you more
It gives you more scope, and I love Stanley Kubrick, and if you look at Stanley Kubrick movies, that center tunneling, The Shining and 2001 and all of those, I really, really enjoy that tunneling, and a lot of fashion is shot dead center.
Fair enough.
Because I don't have much room on covers and that. They need to slap it, bang.
Sorry, I didn't mean to yawn.
I meant to yawn.
I didn't mean to.
Am I boring you?
No, you're not, I'm sorry. Jamie, I would also like to know, do you do collaborations with models, or is it always paid? No, we do collaborations.
It's not really a collab. Well, it's sort of collaborations. A model will come in here, we'll give them 4,000 pictures, look through, pick out a field that they like, and then I just shoot it my way.
Yeah.
But within the genre of, within the sort of, it's going to be a headshot, a full length, a fashion or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, go to an artist and say, hey, let's do a painting collaboration. You do half, I do half.
Yeah.
It don't work.
But that's what they mean. Like, I know what they mean.
Yeah, I know. But that side of things I find, well, you see me, something will bug me and I can't get a good picture. So until I actually say, can we change that?
Yeah.
Where that might be their favourite thing in the photo. And then I say, no, don't want it. Let's just put a dirty shirt on.
Gigi says, have you seen the new Fuji film? We get asked about Fuji film quite a lot, actually.
Yeah, but I'm not looking for a camera.
Yeah, so we haven't tried it, unfortunately, but we do.
And it's not like Fuji run out and throw, here, Peter, have a play with this for a month or so when you get a second, and then we'll pick it up. You know, I'm certain I could go and borrow one, but I'm going to lose a day just driving into the city, picking one up, and then I have to take it back again. And if I'm happy with the gear I've got, I don't need to. Yeah. But I don't know, I have seen a fair bit of negative stuff lately, but it's just stuff that's on the internet, so I don't know if it's true or not. But yes.
Jamie, who has a problem with the autofocus, is wondering if it's his lens or his camera. I'm not too sure.
It's more likely to be your lens.
Okay.
And the quickest way to find out is put another lens on it.
Makes sense. Frank says he sees in most of your videos you go with just one light and if necessary reinforce with ambient. What would be your favourite one light setup?
The go-to is just a big octa. My second go-to would be a bare bulb. But when I say bare bulb, I'm talking like a Pro Photo flat or shallow reflector, something like that. But I can do a lot with both of those two. Once I start changing in between those, I'm very limited to what I can do.
Nestor has asked, he has a small studio, 15 by 16 by 9. So I guess that's feet. So I guess to do
4.5 metres by 5.3 metres.
Yeah. So I guess to do the side octagon, I should flag the opposite wall and maybe the ceiling to get a slightly similar look as a large studio?
Yeah, it depends on what colour. 4.5, well, my old studio is 4.5 high. Oh no, it's wide. How height's got a bit to do with it. I used to have 4.5 ceilings. I was 6 metres by 10 metres. And I had black and white curtains. I would pull down each side of the walls to be able to take away bounce or add bounce.
Where do you find your clothing? Thrift shop? I know you create some, sorry, this is from Vincent. Did you create some, did you start having clothing because you didn't like the clothing of the models?
Yes. They'd turn up with Surprise stuff, and which
Surprise
is like H&M. In the early days, thrift shops a little bit, not so much. I spent a bit of money. I would go to, there'd be certain places I knew to go to sales, and you'd get some good quality, like the sewing and the material are part of it. The material needs to hang properly and that, but it's also the cut, the way the clothing's cut. That has a big thing to do with it. It's like one of the shirts I've got in there, I really wish I bought the dress that was on the rack with it, and I've killed myself ever since because she doesn't make it. The Uji one. Paul Bangay, David Bromley's wife's one.
Oh,
the white shirt.
Yeah.
She had and it's just the material is to die for. And yeah, the dress would have been great. It's just a collection. Sometimes we've got designers who leave stuff. Yeah. We get lots of models dump stuff
so many models come in and they're like, I don't want this anymore. Do you guys want it?
So we just go through, and anything that we can either shred up or
it's cool,
we'll keep, and everything else goes to a thrift shop. So.
Yeah, we go and donate it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm very fussy with. We have there's a rack over that side of us now, which is my favourite rack. And I'm not one of these people, I've shot in this once, it can never be shot in again. I'm more, let's make a series out of this. So it means I don't have to think.
Yes.
But yeah, the wardrobe's got like 12 racks or sort of ridiculous
So many
amount
clothes in there.
But every now, let's say when we did the fashion, how easy was it to put what we originally started with wasn't working, and it wasn't hard to change your boots out.
Yeah, that's cool. Very good. Clef would like to know if I am your muse. No, I think I'm just a pain that drinks old Peter's wine.
I don't have one muse. We have different muses for different genres, but yeah, Beck's my drinking muse. No, Beck has been my muse for ages, and we spoke about this the other day.
I know.
If we could go back in time,
If we could share it up.
share it up.
Like share, like the singer, you know, the turn back time, the cannon thingy with the fishnets.
No, I wouldn't do that. Yeah, no, if I could go back in time when I first met Beck, I would have most likely jumped in a plane and gone to Paris with her.
Yeah, I should have. Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Because she was a perfect fashion model, just thick, skinny, awkward, framey, but just she had that perfect look for haute couture. And yeah, and it's the type of photography I love shooting. So yeah, for that stuff, we've just been working on that lately, just getting back into fashion because it's so hard without fashion models or fashion gowns.
Yes.
But yeah, then I've got different people, for different
reasons, yeah.
Like I've got my little Kates,
Yeah,
my models that do the sort of the Kate Mossy look that I love, and yeah.
I get it. And people were agreeing with us about frequency separation. That's good to know we're not alone. Chris says he doesn't really care about fashion photography, however, likes to watch you work because he enjoys the way you express the thought behind the creative process. I mean, it's the best thing you can do.
Oh, thank
That's
you.
really
But
cool.
at the same time, just because it's what I do for fashion, you can still do that stuff for portraiture or for fine art or whatever. It's
Apparently, my audio is rubbing on the mic. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
no, it'll be you.
But my hair's down there.
Oh.
They said the audio is horrible.
Oh,
Check.
you are.
Yeah.
Is it you?
I don't know. They said that my hair's rubbing.
I get a squeaky thing on your hair sometimes. Why are you playing with your hair now?
I can't hear anything. I'll just keep an eye on it. I'm sorry, but I've got my microphone. I specifically put it out of my hair, so I'm really sorry if the audio is bad. I just listened to it and couldn't hear problems. I do fidget a lot, though. I'm really sorry. And they said it's interference with the wireless, but I couldn't hear anything just then. Sorry, this is really delayed.
Maybe shouldn't be. I'll move this down here. Maybe you're bumping that. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Fine.
Live streams, we hate it.
We hate
You
it.
can't edit it.
I know. Yeah, the people are saying it's interference, but I'm not sure why. Frank would like to know when you...
Throw me the headphones while you ask, and then I can tell what interference it is. She's not really a sound guy.
Sorry.
You can keep asking questions though.
Oh, Ray said he's happy to look after the studio if we move overseas.
Sorry?
Ray said he's happy to look after the studio if we move overseas. The Frank wanted to... Oh wait, I can't ask you a question while you're listening. This wasn't a very good idea, was it?
I'm listening to you on here.
But it's too late.
I can't hear any interference though.
Okay, maybe it was before, maybe it fixed it.
I'll leave one on. How's that? Frank wants to know what?
When did you focus on the type of photography you do today, the black and white signature photo?
When did I?
Yeah.
It just evolved. It started off...
Look at you.
I'm waiting for interference so I can tell you what it was. This is really... I get the question again a second time. I'm not hearing anything. Oh, this is hard talking while you're hearing yourself. I think you might have been wiggling. Remember one of those crackles if you move too much?
I don't do fidget a lot. Sorry.
You fidget a lot. It came about when I was editing. One of the things I learned a long time when editing beauty was I would take the picture in as a colour onto Photoshop. I would then run a gradient map layer, not a gradient map, from black to white, which would put a high contrast black and white. Then I put a curve with a really deep down curve on, and it brought out all the imperfections on skin. And then I'd dodge and burn while they were on, and then I'd turn it off and then come back to my color. And more with my photos, I didn't turn them off. And that became my style.
Yes.
And then, oh, what is we doing?
Reading questions.
Oh, reading questions. That's right, keep reading. I can read the questions here. I'm going to put that under. Yeah, you're just going to. Just so everybody knows, Beck's going to kill me now. There's a difference in our glasses. Anyway, yeah, that just became my style. Same with my halo. I always loved the large format films, and when they contrast them, they got this haloing effect, and I absolutely loved it because what it was the background was lit. We had a bad vignetting on the outsides, and they were in it and created this sort of like haloing effect. And when I managed to make this happen within focus, that became part of my style. And my style's always evolving, but it's what I tend to like is what I do.
Yes. Christopher left a really nice comment saying, thank you, Peter, for your contribution to us. It's really appreciated. My family photos have gone from embarrassment to being asked if someone was paid to shoot my family. Thanks again.
Oh, it's awesome.
That's so nice. I love that.
I think just the hardest thing in the world with anything is feeling that you're going to be judged because you don't know anything or you look like an amateur. It doesn't mean you can't do stuff amazingly. I think it's better off for you just to have some confidence. If you like it, let the world see it. Don't look at your experience. I've seen some amazing photographers that friggin' started off that way. They pretty much, their first frame looked. Kimothy's a perfect example. Had no idea what she was doing. Her photos were to die.
Good, yeah. Yeah. It's just confidence. Confidence is hard though. Even I was having a conversation over the weekend about confidence. Was it over the weekend? I think so, but that's a totally different tangent. That's not photography related, so I won't go down that path. But it was still confidence related. Actually, maybe I will touch on it because I was watching one of my favorite singers at the moment, and he is just so manic and crazy, and I love that about him. I love how he's just unapologetically himself, and I know that I can be a little bit crazy sometimes, but then I get embarrassed about how manic I can be sometimes, but I've just got to remind myself, hang on, but that's exactly what I like about someone, so maybe that's what people like about me, and maybe I shouldn't get embarrassed for my craziness, if that makes sense. Back wisdom.
And backisms. The confidence thing is, look, even with models, we'll have models/actors come in here saying that they can let go, they can go crazy. As soon as you say, well, all right, let go then.
They can't.
They can't. As soon as they try and do something crazy, you can see the voices in their head calling them stupid.
Yeah.
Whereas if you do, that's exactly what's going to happen if you go somewhere with a camera or go somewhere with a guitar or anything. If you're downing yourself while you're trying to do something, you're going to make a mess of it.
Yeah.
And
own it.
When, in my early days, I used to shit myself like really bad before photo shoots, or if I was sent on, especially back in the fishing time, being sent on a really expensive. Sorry?
I hope you brought spare pants with you.
No, I just sat in all day. When I was, you put me right off.
When you
and your
fishing,
poo jokes.
Sorry, I couldn't help it. You left the door open.
We might have to go to this place where I'm only going to have a very small window to get a cover picture or something, and I wouldn't sleep the night before. But on the day, I didn't have that. I just was there looking for. I need to look for this. I have all my positive, like a plan of how I'm going to do it. And then when something fails, I don't go and break down. I go reset, start again.
Yeah.
Like, pull everything down, restart, refresh,
Yes.
learn from the mistake. And the only way of learning is to make mistakes.
Oh, 200%.
Like, how many times have I told you not to do something, but until you do it,
Yeah.
then you never do it again.
That's how I was raised.
Like hard drives and dropping them on floors.
That's how I was raised. My mum, I remember I put
Oh, it dropped you on the head.
No, my mum was telling me one time to not touch the hot iron. So what did I do? Go and stuck my hand on the hot iron and burnt my hand.
Bart Simpson. Ow. Ow.
Okay, don't do that. That's hot. Let that. Anyways, Keith would like to know, why do you sometimes use a platform for the model to sit or stand on?
If you're talking about the one I did with Madeline, that wasn't, the platform wasn't to lift the model higher. We wanted a timber floor.
And that's like a floor that Peter's
a floating
built.
floor that we built. So
you can bring
we have
it in and
clients that want that sort of painted timber floor. So you'll see it's like floorboards. And that was the look we wanted for that shoot. Sitting and things like that, it'll be, Beck will tell you straight away, she is more, if we're going to do a beauty shot of her, she's going to get a more pretty face if she's sitting.
Yeah.
It's just because if you just stand out in the middle of a room, like
really
and
hard
stand
to
in the
feel
middle of the
pretty.
room that you're in now and try and feel pretty while you're standing, it just doesn't
feels
work.
really awkward. You're like, hello, I am in the center of a room.
Yeah, so anything like leaning against walls, sitting on chairs and things like that does make it much more comfortable for the model, which means they can emote better. I hope.
You hope. Peter, what has, sometimes it refreshes and then I struggle to find where I was. Peter, what has the impact to your business been because of COVID?
We lost a year of work.
Will to survive and hope to prosper soon.
We lost pretty much a year. We had a 90% booked calendar this time last year. But no, 2 weeks earlier this time last year.
And then
by this time last year, our calendar was empty, not a single booking. So we had to readjust. That's part of the reason why you're seeing us on YouTube. We had a YouTube channel before, but we weren't really using it properly. I was just posting a video and crap. And we've diversified. We're a bit lucky that our government did give us some business assistance, but we still had, every month we still had to chase that. And what are our figures? What were we sitting 80% down?
Oh gosh, it was
Beck used to have to do the figures to submit to the government, and she
still
was
have
all
one more to
worried
do.
that we were going to miss out and get cut off on it. But we were sitting 80% down most months in turnover.
Oh no, I was just worried I was doing it wrong.
Well,
That's all I was worried about.
but yeah, COVID massive, and COVID's still having an effect. We still can't get overseas. 70% of our work is overseas. Most of my fashion clients and all that are overseas. So, and lots and lots of models that we haven't shoot Anne in. So there's so many models, and Shay and all our favourite models in Milan and that. Anyway, so it's had an effect, but we've
Soldiering on.
We're soldiering on.
I can see the light at the end of the tunnel now. I'm trying to be positive.
But that still means you're in the tunnel.
Yeah, but there's light at the end of it.
I don't want to be in the tunnel.
Well, you can't get out of it. That's why there's the light. You got to just soldier on. Anyways, Michael said he's learned more from you on Inspire than he has in 3 years of schooling that he's taken. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I learnt nothing at school. Yeah, I normally say you're going to learn so much more. And I said this at a lecture one day at a school that don't get me to come back anymore. Because of this, I said that you'll learn more in one day in a studio with gear and a model and just play all day than you'll learn in a year in a schoolroom.
Skills. Coulson remembers your workshop in Berlin with Jean Noir a couple years
long time ago.
Don't forget to bring Nick back next time.
That was, and we had that model. We had what's her name, dancer, ballet, Claire.
Oh.
Claire was. That's where I met
Louisa.
Claire.
Oh,
Louisa.
Claire.
Yeah.
Wait, what does she go by now?
I think she goes by I don't know. She has two names. She has Claire and Louisa. But yeah,
I can't remember which one
that
she
was
goes by
with
now.
her. That was where I met her.
Ah.
Met a Sydney dancer in Berlin.
That's cool. Keith has asked, why do you build a... Oh, wait, no, we've already answered that one. Sorry, my bad. You spoke the other day about leaving out the tops of heads because of their imperfection. What other angles or body parts do you avoid in your compositions?
Nothing. I think it's It's more, the reason I brought that up is more people ask why I cut the tops of heads out. And if you just look at fashion magazines, you'll see it. Nearly every picture's tops of heads are cut off because we want to get the face.
Cut my head off.
Oh, cutting your head off. So yeah, that's the only thing. I don't actually physically look at where I'm cropping. I just, this feels good, this feels right. I want to get more into the eyes, I want more, so I take the top of the head off. And Beck saw even yesterday when we were trying to crop that thumbnail thing, how you couldn't even make up your mind. When I slightly rotated it to square up the eyes, it was like,
Didn't bother me.
yeah, but why bother the way it's shot's the way it's shot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so sometimes it will take, because quite often gets tufts of ugly hair up there, or if I want to change the look of the model, the closer you get the eyes to the crop at the top, it will add some aggression to a picture. That's a whole subject on its own. Yep.
What's your favourite lens for medium format?
100 mil. Just find your own favourite lens, really. My old used to be favourite lens back in the Canon days was my 70-200. Love that lens to bits. I had an 85 1.2, I think it was. I liked it, never used it. So it's just one of those things that you'll find you get a feel out of your pictures. And I would say 90% of the time you see me with that on the 100 mil on, anyway.
Apparently I'm gorgeous and a great hostess. Thank you very much. I'm just a dag,
good one.
to be honest. But thank you for the channel contents. You are so welcome. Hi, Peter. In my recent shoot, I was shooting dark skin model and I found that the shine on the face on areas like forehead and cheekbone is more than on the back of the face. How do I get balance? The darker skin tone normally have a high contrast from highlight to shadow on the face.
No, it just sounds like it might have been sweaty.
So just get some translucent.
Yeah, translucent powder, but you've got to be careful with very dark skin models, unless they've been working as a model with studio light photography, they'll most likely won't have the right translucent powder. A lot of translucent powders might whiten their skin, which will make it go grey, but I'll just experiment. The stuff I used on Eleanor, and she's pretty dark. Like, it seemed to work fine on her, didn't change her skin tone. So I just use a translucent powder from Atelier.
Bye from Germany. Unfortunately, it's after 3 a.m. Goodbye. Germany, we'll see you on the next one, which will be soon, and we'll target it at Europe next time. What is your setup streaming video model of your camera? We are using the A7s Mark III for this, and
we've got the new Cinetone. Yeah, I've put it onto Cinetone.
Oh. Fancy. But I do have everything listed in the description of how we are streaming this, and we won't talk about the stress that I went through before to get it all working. That didn't happen. No. But yeah, it's all in there. And this just refreshed again. Sorry, my friends. Audio issue is hashing, like RF interference or a low battery in a wireless mic. We've got full battery though.
Yeah, I couldn't hear anything when I put it on before.
I'm sorry,
there might be somebody else's interference from, say, next door. We are in the factory estate.
We are, yeah, true. So I'm sorry, every time I listen it seems to be fine, but I'm sorry if every now and then there is
What I'll do is after this I'll have a listen to it back, and then I should be able to work out what the problem was.
Okay. Sorry, we don't like having bad audio.
No, I hate bad audio.
How is your M1 MacBook?
I don't have one.
Which is that one?
That's a new M1 chip. I haven't got one yet. I wanted to buy a new Mac Pro for home, and I was looking at that ridiculous one. It was going to cost me about $25,000 to build the machine I needed, and I'm going to hang off for the M1 chip. The people I know who are using it are loving it. They're saying that like Photoshop is 4 times faster, and Final Cut Pro, the Apple software like Final Cut Pro and Logic are just fly. So Or are you listening for noises
Everyone
again?
keeps, well, I know I'm behind, but people keep talking about it, sorry.
Well, give it back to me.
I just can't hear anything.
I didn't hear anything last time. And we're listening, what we're listening to is the feed that you're getting, not...
I think.
Someone's just said no audio problems.
So I'm confused. What's the difference between S-curve and the contrast slider? Why do you prefer the S?
It depends on what software. It really depends on what software you're using. I love the contrast slider on Hasselblad because it's got a beautiful S-curve effect, whereas I cannot stand the contrast slider on ACR or Capture One. So I would tend to put my own curve in. The only thing is I don't tend to do an S-curve because I'm not normally trying to make my mid-tones contrasty. I'm normally trying to push more towards my highlights contrasty, which is going to chrome skin. What are you looking at?
I'm just trying to figure out. I skipped back a bit and I could hear it.
Could you?
Yeah.
What sort of did you hear?
It's like a glitch. It's like a scratch.
Yeah, I think that's something I get on yours. I don't know what it is. I would just maybe...
Should I just stay very still?
Move this around and see if that
No, because I don't want it to scratch pee for people's ears.
No, but then you know it's the cable. I had a funny feeling one of our thin cables.
That's why I was just looking if yours was scratching on your neck. Sorry.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I tend to do a single curve is a lot of what I do. But again, you've just got to do what is your style. I don't have a set rule. Anybody who watches any of my stuff will see me vary between things.
Quick question, Canon, Sony or Nikon?
Mercedes, Jaguar or BMW. You've got to go with, if you ask me, Nikon I think is in a bit of trouble. Nothing against Nikon, they were the best camera manufacturer for ages. But I think they've really struggled with the switch over to mirrorless, and both Canon and Nikon were just ridiculously slow. They let Fuji, Panasonic and Sony run away for 4 years, and they kept on saying, we're not going to do this, pros won't like this. Well, sorry, you got that wrong. So at the moment I still find Sony a fair way ahead of them, especially with the A1. If you're a Nikon shooter, you know where all the Nikon buttons are, and you can press them. Like my Hasselblad's not one of my Hasselblads is, but my other one isn't mirrorless. I still survive with that. So it really comes down to what you like. And if you've got a lot of money invested in lenses, that's a big choice to make. Although the Canon and Nikon, I think they've changed their lens mount for their mirrorless, which is annoying.
I just couldn't get the glitch to replicate, so I'm not too sure what it is. Similar question though from Ivan, which I guess your answer is going to be the same, is to take a picture of people or scenery.
Sorry?
To take a picture of people or scenery.
Me?
Yeah. I don't know, that's just what they asked.
Do I take a picture of people or scenery?
I don't know, that's what they asked.
I shoot people. Okay. Well, I normally say to people that I set the lighting up so the person looks the best. I don't care about the background. So if I'm out and about, if someone wants to shoot a picture of the Eiffel Tower, I'm going to spend 2 hours working out where I'm going to come back the next day and shoot it. So I could have the Eiffel Tower in the background but still have the best light on the model.
Have you, from Cosmo, have you tried to stand on your toes to see how that would change the look of the model?
Have I tried? I've tried to stand on my toes, and all I do is get sore calves, and it doesn't change the look of the models. It definitely... Is that like a joke question?
I don't know. I'm taking...
You take it as a joke question? If it wasn't a joke question, look at the Anna One Light video. You'll see what toes do.
No, but I think they're asking if you've tried to stand on your toes. So
if I stand on my toes?
Yeah, because I think...
Well, sometimes if Beck's on her toes, I have to get on my toes to get to the same eye height.
Giraffe lady.
And she's normally got like heels.
Peter, have you ever shot with the Taya 11? No. 133mm or Helios 40?
Nope.
uniquely flawed lenses that are nicely soft and pleasing on the skin.
Yeah, I know of the lenses. I've never shot on them.
Oh, fair enough. Question, wine or tequila? Oh, it depends.
Tequila.
They have times and places. It depends.
Tequila.
No, it just depends. Both? Porque Nostros? 70% of your work is overseas. That is why I have no work, lol. Yes. Yes, unfortunately, we are stuck here, fully vaccinated here, and just now comfortable with opening the studio back up. We're getting there slowly. Black and white pictures or colour pictures?
Both. You do an edit of both of them and you post them up and let the world decide. No. What are you doing?
Looking up a question. Keep
Oh,
it talking.
looking up a question. Yeah, no. People ask why I shoot black and white. The thing with black and white, I've got a book out the back which is Verushka. Most of the book was shot back in 1960s, and I would say a third or half of the pictures in that book, you wouldn't know what year they were shot. But as soon as you see a colour picture, you go, oh shit, that's back in the 60s, 70s. So that's 45 years of Valentino.
Why are you looking? It's just my laptop.
That's your
Look
laptop.
at my laptop.
Yeah, so that's one of the things. Black and white means timeless. The other thing I do quite often on, especially workshops where we're outside, people want to know why I set my Sony to black and white in the viewfinder. And I tell everyone, just look down that street, tell me what you can see. And at first, they're just saying, oh, there's a car down here that they don't see it. And I said, all right, so now I'm going to tell you what I see. I see that orange lamppost, I see that yellow car, I see that blue sign, I see that green. Now look back down the street and tell me what you see. And then people realize you see color. Once you realize what your actual eyes see, look in any room, it doesn't matter where you look, anything colorful will still grab your eye. It's still in now here, if I look over there where there's an orange chair, I can see a green Gucci bag. I can see Beck's green Gucci bag over there. And it doesn't matter where I look, I can still see that green bag. But no matter where I look, I'm not seeing a grey pack on the floor down there. So what it's doing, the colour is affecting what I'm seeing. So once you make it black and white, now you're just seeing contrast, light, and the subject you're trying to get people to look at. That's just a me thing.
That's just a you thing.
Yes, Miss Saturated, who's going out to do a super saturated shot tomorrow.
Cannot wait. I'm so excited. Going to an arcade. It's going to be so full of colours, just
so
what Peter
saturated.
loves. Yes, we were asked about the Valentino catalogue book, which you called the Lighting Bible. So was that the right one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just sent a link to that one. Brett said what you said was so true about hands-on learning, and that's why he does workshops, which, yes, you do learn a lot more. Well, I personally learn a lot more doing things. I get really frustrated when someone's like, I'll show you. I'm like, don't show me, let me do it. But that's a me thing.
Oh, that's a me thing too. It's, yeah, with me doing my cooking, I find recipes and I look at how they do it, then I go and do it my way. And then I slightly change them to my tastes and then like them better.
Yes.
How many different steak tacos have I gone through the years? And the latest ones are pretty good, aren't they?
They're so delicious. I was kind of craving your salsa last night. 50 mil or 30 mil?
If I could only pick one, it would be 50.
And
Unless I was shooting street, then I'd most likely tend to go for 30.
refreshed, and now I'm lost.
You're lost.
I'm lost. Where was I? I think I was there. Oh, Vivek said, thank you for answering. And they attended a workshop back in Sydney for an outdoor natural light, and you're amazing. And one of the only few photographers that they follow, and you are their favourite.
Thank you.
Next workshop in Sydney soon.
We're just waiting for premiers to stop shutting down things.
I feel
but
like
we have
Sydney
got,
will happen soon. Well, we're going to be in Sydney.
we've got a Hasselblad event that we're running up there in May.
So we just
We were crossing up if to do, but it's too short notice, so it'll most likely be more like June.
Yeah.
I think it'll be around June that we'll be up there. As long as your premier's good, she doesn't shut everyone else out.
Well, that's why I
the
think
problem
Sydney
is
will
we'd
be
get up
first.
there and then our premier would lock us out.
No, I think we've been okay.
We've been okay.
Recently, another YouTube photographer labelled the atmosphere around Sony and their engagement with influencers as toxic and fanboy cult. What's your thoughts about that?
I missed the very first part of what you said.
Another YouTube photographer labelled the atmosphere around Sony and their engagement with influencers as toxic and a fanboy cult.
I see a fanboy cult with Fuji.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I find a lot of people that do the reviews on cameras, I listen to their reviews and just go, you don't shoot, do you? And that's why I don't do reviews. I'll tell you what I like about a camera and what I don't like about a camera, but every single camera's got stuff that I like and don't like about, but then it's a matter of, does that affect me? So very early on when I was thinking about swapping from the Canon as my second camera system to Sony, everyone was saying, oh, it only has one card slot. My Hasselblad only had one card slot then.
I don't like the 2 card slots. I actually prefer one. It makes me nervous. I'm like,
it was never an issue with me. Then they carried on about battery life, and I thought, this tiny little battery here is only going to last me 2 hours. So one in the camera and 2 in my pocket will get me through most days. Wow. Whereas I looked at my Canon battery, which was this long and this wide, and that got me 3 hours. I thought, this is not a criticism to me. I'd rather carry 3 of those batteries in my pocket than one Canon battery in my pocket at that stage. So a lot of the times their arguments weren't an argument that affected me. Like the viewfinders, I know when the mirrorless first came out, everyone said, oh, the viewfinder's disgusting. Well, I only use the viewfinder to get my focusing and things like that. Now I've got focus peaking, I actually can get that quicker. I don't use it as a thing to say, oh, it's so pretty through my viewfinder, but you can't capture that. Well, it's only there for you. The picture you're getting is your capture, not your viewfinder. But that's just me. I think a lot of people that review, I find that half the things they say that are bad about things don't affect what I want in a camera. I do love, is it Lock-Kai?
I think so.
I think they're no. I do like both of them because I do find that they just dish everybody, so I actually like that. You don't see an underlying Canon, Nikon, Sony, Fuji bias to their reviews.
Unrelated questions. 1, thoughts on Holden going away. 2, thoughts on the BMW's new grille styling. Personally, Kelsey thinks they're getting ridiculously huge and a little silly.
I don't like the BMW's grille. I hate it actually. My car, first time ever, my car's coming up for lease and I'm not going to upgrade. Well, I'm not going to upgrade to the new BMW, but I don't think I'm going to upgrade at the moment anyway. So I love my M4. It's absolutely lovely as it is.
I can't wait to get upgraded to a Ferrari.
Beck wants a Ferrari. Is that before or after your island?
Before.
The Holden Ford in Australia cause their own problems, just not being, the cars just, you can't, when you talk about racing, yeah, fine. Holden versus Ford was always good, but I still much preferred the days when we had Minis and all different cars, and I loved the Sierras, I loved the Nissans coming into Bathurst, all of that. I'm really finding just the Holden Ford's practically the same car going around the track with a different label on it. I don't know, I find it boring. I love GTE, GT3. That racing to me is really cool. And yeah, I think it's a shame Holden's not in Australia, but they brought it on themselves. If they built good enough cars for the Australians, they would have kept selling them. Anyway, my views. Where am I up to?
The next question was, what was your worst experience shooting? Like, did you run out of batteries or something like that?
My worst experience shooting,
I'm pretty sure that's what they asked. Let me double check.
I think the biggest stuff up I ever did was shoot an entire fashion shoot in JPEG medium. It's because I had an assistant that played with my camera.
Oh no.
That and I had, both my biggest stuff up was with assistants. My next biggest stuff up was, he was doing a catwalk, and it was a big catwalk, and it was so big that I even had a cross on the ground with my name written, "This is where Peter stands," which I got into many fights with other photographers there, but I was being employed by the event to do the shots. And I get there and I open up my bag and my camera wasn't in it. And my assistant had taken it out of the bag to check the batteries and left it on the shelf in one of the back rooms, which were changing rooms, where we were shooting some hair and makeup stuff, and they'd already locked all of those rooms. And we're about 2 minutes away from the catwalk to start.
Remember that time when I had just started and you had given me my carry-on bag, which was full of which had your Sony bag, and I was halfway to the airport and realised I'd left the bag at home?
Yes, and had to catch a different flight.
Yeah, I had to call my mum to bring the bag to the airport and then get on another flight.
She had one job to do.
I just started, to be fair, in my defence. In my defence. Bryce would like to know, where do you see photography headed in the future? The state of influencers seems overwhelmingly negative for the industry. Images don't seem to hold the same worth for what they used to.
Yeah, which is good, because everyone's getting bored, which means you take something that's outside that square, it's not boring anymore, and people like your pictures.
Yeah. And
I still get comments from people that I meet who don't actually know what I do, and then they, I was talking to a guy in the Sim, which is online racing channel, and we're talking, I think it was on Twitch, and someone saw my name or talking and thought he needed to Google my name, Googled my name, and next minute he goes, "Oh my God, your photography is amazing. I've got no idea what's good or bad photography, but I love what you're doing." And that's it. It's just, it's so much easier with all these influencers. Oh, she's going out for cigarettes.
No, I'm good. I'm taking my laptop though, so I can still ask questions.
Am I going to hear your questions?
Can you hear me from here?
Only just.
Oh.
But yeah, so I think, I don't see a problem with it, and to me, I said a couple of years ago, fashion photography and fashion was at its lowest point ever, and I'm already starting to see the changes. I'm starting to see, like I said before, Alexander McQueen's latest campaign was back how fashion should be shot. So yeah, it's all in circles and roundabouts. The only thing I get more concerned on is the whole politically correct cancel culture crap. I'm glad I'm not trying to be a comedian. That'd be a nightmare. You're not allowed to make fun of anything anymore. So yeah, that's my 5 cents.
That'll get Peter going, get him ranting about that.
Oh, Peter, show me your sim rig. Is my sim rig anywhere online?
I think we were going to. I remember filming you.
Yeah, I can't remember.
We will. We'll put it up.
It's
somewhere.
yeah. Well, I've certainly got a video somewhere online of it, but it's yeah, it's. I haven't been on it for 5 weeks because my accelerator pedal broke. So I use proper racing pedals. But anyway, what was the next question?
Carlos says, Nikon user here. Other than slightly higher hit rate on focus, there is no difference for him. Same sensors.
Yeah, it's like, as long as I can
preference.
remember, Nikon had better lenses than Canon, and Canon had better this than Nikon, and there was always this to and fro. At the end of the day, I had just as many friends shooting Canon and Nikon. I was mainly shooting Canon, and all of our photos got published, all of our photos made us money, all of our camera gear tended to be able to be, I'm talking about the high-end gear. We could stand out in pouring rain and it just worked. My old Canon went overboard twice with me completely underneath water in salt water, and neither of the cameras or lenses died or had any effect from it because the sealing was so good. So, miss the Vauxhalls. Love the Vauxhalls. Vegemite.
I love Vegemite. Mark would like to know, if he wants to be better, he has to practice, but how does he know what photos are good? It's subjective, really.
All right, so one of the things I do, I have a folder which is called my storyboard folder, and I just collect photos from everywhere. And you could do this on Pinterest if you want, except you're just keeping that, and on Pinterest they're G-rated, so you can't have a fashion nipple on it, so you can't put your own work up against it. I find that having a folder of all images I love that I collect, all I do is go save as image and put them in this folder. And I look through the folder quite regularly, and anything I don't like anymore gets chucked out. Once you start getting that folder, you'll start training your eyes to what you like. And the more you can add to that folder with images that you really like and take out the images that you're over, the more you'll find your photography starts to take that direction. And then once you can start dropping your own photos into that folder randomly, and your photos aren't jumping out as incredibly bad, or I've got a long way to go, and that's what I used to do. I used to put mine in and go, oh my God, I'm so far behind. Once they start blending in, you go, oh shit, that's one of mine. How'd that get in there? That means that you're actually
You're where you
shooting.
want to be.
Sorry?
Like you're where you want to be.
Yeah, it's now you're shooting at the level of the photos that you're looking up to, which means you're creating what you should be creating. That means you're shooting to your style, and you've now got your quality to what you've set your quality to be. Yeah. That's why I don't critique other people's work, because I can show you published stuff that's in magazines, and if I put pictures up here, everyone go, that is disgusting, that's so amateur, that's crap. Sorry, that may cover of magazine, it's a certain style.
Yeah,
and it's like indie photography has a certain feel. Stuff that's in Oyster magazines or Noise and those magazines, a lot of photographers hate because they say that's just like amateur photography. But go out there and try and shoot that, and you'll see how amateur it is. It's not easy to purposely get those looks. And same with competitions and that. I've judged once or twice, and I kept on thinking, I'd see the picture and go, I want to know what the author was trying to say. Then I can tell you if he's achieved it or didn't achieve it. But to me, I'm looking at this, it looks like 1980s pin-up crap. And then I speak to the author afterwards, and their idol was 1980s pin-up. I think, well, you just nailed it perfectly. But in a competition, I don't know that's what they were trying to do, or they're really not that good.
Yeah.
Favourite Scotch whiskey? I'm loving a lot of the Japanese single stuff at the moment, but I drink more. I'm more bourbon, but good bourbons. Yeah, people bring out something like Maker's Mark, and I say it's not bourbon, that's like petrol. So yeah, I really like good bourbons, American whiskies. So, and I'm really bad with English, so trying to remember their pronunciation properly of their names. But I just got two bottles of nice Australian bourbon, and it is good. It's really good. I can't remember her name, but it was really good.
But it was really good, and they wrote a little note to you, which was really cute as well.
Oh yes, got a personalised note. That was lovely.
What is your April 1st of April rumour? So like your April 1st, well, Peter tried to get me before with Sarah, I'll come back in the camera.
I just said, watch it, there's a spider next to your hand, but she's so used to me saying it every day, she didn't do one. That used to be a big thing for me. I'd always get my kids every year. But once my kids grew up, I got over it.
Yeah. Like
and
me
I'm an April Fool anyway, so it doesn't matter.
And funny you should mention this, Mike, because we actually got asked, when is Becca going to do a photo shoot of you, with you being the host? Would be nice content.
Host,
like, so
the
when
model.
So when are we going to do me shooting you? We'll do that soon. We got requested that the other day. I feel lightheaded now from that dirty, rotten cigarette. No, we are going to do that soon. We'll do me shooting Peter a new profile picture. We'll make a video of it. It's going to be funny because I don't know He hates having his photo taken. And that's funny. So we'll do that soon. When is Peter getting a pair of blue glass lenses? You'll be able to see black and white all the time.
Blue glass, that blue filter stuff, no, that's horrible. If that's what he's talking about.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know. If it's that stuff that shields your eyes from computers, I can't use them at all for retouching, just especially colour work they have to do commercially. So.
And what is the best model you have photographed?
Look, Beck's waiting for me to say her. She is just, look at her. She's looking at her go. What is your favourite kid? What would you rather cut off, your foot or your hand? Would you rather lose your hearing or your eyes? You can't. But I think for what's your favourite song ever?
I don't think there's a specific person, but I think your favourite type of model is someone who just doesn't care.
Yeah, my favourite model is someone who says this is my genre and then does whatever she or he needs to do within that genre. They really don't care. And Beck's seen it recently. It's hard to get people say, oh, this is what I want. No, it's yin and yang. It's really not. Whereas I go back a few years and more of the models I worked with really knew exactly what they wanted and that they were 100% comfortable within the zone they were in.
Yes. Jake said him and his wife are huge fans and they tried to recreate one of the lighting setups from Inspire every few weeks, and that Rara inspired his wife to cut her bangs into her hair.
Oh, and I've been telling Rara to grow that fringe out. I hate it.
She did suit it though. The thing with
it's just that the Rara I met was more
without. Yeah. But that's really cute. Thank you.
That is cute.
Like, we love that. Chris would like you to shoot a series of images with Tri-X and a blue filter in the studio.
Oh, you're talking about blue filter. Now I understand blue filter glasses, yeah. Blue or green. Green filters, I mostly use green more than blue, but I love Tri-X. I've got Tri-X in the fridge. I just bought some more film today and I saw I still had some Tri-X in the fridge. And yeah, I still have my old green and blue filters, so I should do that.
Mm-hmm. Are we going to teach in Utah, USA?
I doubt it.
Yeah.
Only not being nasty against Utah, it's just we've got to go where we have a following because it's very, very expensive to travel and we also need backup work and we're not going to get booked for any fashion work in Utah.
No.
Which means we'd have to completely sell out everything in workshops, which I just don't know if our following's big enough. But I think when we get back to States, we normally do New York and LA. And
we're going to do Texas?
And we're going to do Texas.
Because I check analytics, so I check where people are watching from around the world and I kind of base it off of that. And also,
so if you're based in Utah, find a couple of thousand people to start watching our YouTube channel,
and then maybe
we will see. No, but we'll see that. Oh, we've got a big following in Utah.
What photographer do you admire? Helmut Newton, Peter Lindbergh, Patrick D. Marcellia, Abaddon.
Come on, keep going.
I think you kind of like David LaChapelle because you have.
Oh, I love David LaChapelle.
Yeah. Who else? I'm forgetting.
There's lots.
Oh yeah, there's lots.
Gillies Benjamin.
Oh yes. Nick
Knight. Ellen von Unworth.
Favorite food: sushi or hot dogs? Oh, my favorite food's pizza.
If I only could eat sushi or hot dogs, I'd go Dirty Dog in New York.
I think so as well, maybe. Refreshed again. Why does it do this? You've answered that one. EVF or optical viewfinder, despite autofocus, difference of DSLR and mirrorless, which kind of viewfinder do you prefer?
I much prefer the electronic viewfinder because then I can have overexposure warnings like zebraing, I can have peaking, I can have all the information in my viewfinder. I can make my viewfinder black and white like every TV camera, and most cinematographers you see in movies will have a black and white screen as their main monitor. So I want all of that stuff in my viewfinder because that makes my job easy.
Always want to make it easier for yourself.
Well, I don't care that what's in my viewfinder isn't my finished picture, but it should be all the information to make me take a better finished picture.
Cosmo said he had a friend who shot a wedding, and when he was done, he opened the camera and there was no film. That was the last wedding he shot.
Explain your way out of that one.
Holy
I think I
smokes.
just put a notice in obituary that I just died,
Yeah.
so they couldn't contact me.
That's rough. What type of racing are you mostly into? Kelsey's been keeping up with F1. Oh no, asking if you've been keeping up with the F1 recently. And if so, who's your favourite team/racer?
Well, it's really hard. My favourite team is Ferrari. My favourite racer is Ricciardo. So I want Ricciardo to join Ferrari. But McLaren's my second favourite, and I do like Lando, so I'm right up there with that. F1, yeah, I really enjoyed. But last year was a little bit interesting, but still, when Hamilton wins everything, it's boring. But this year looks like it's going to be better. GTE, IMSA, all the GT cars, absolutely love that stuff. V8 supercars, I follow them a bit, but that's only because Dave Reynolds is like one of the models I work with, it's her partner, and I really enjoy him and enjoy the shit around him. But yeah, that would be F1. I hang out with, I love, but I don't get to watch as much as I want to, is IMSA and GT.
I don't know anything about racing. That all just sounds like gobbledygooks to me.
Gobbledygooks. Yes, I get up super early in the morning to watch.
Random one, loud music during a shoot or dead silent and focus with no distractions?
It depends on the shoot, but I'd rather noise than no noise. Although if I don't have music, I just talk
Yeah.
a lot.
I prefer, from my side of things, being on the other side of the camera, I prefer
Emo
music.
rap.
I prefer music. It's a nice distraction. I feel a bit awkward if I'm shooting and it's quiet. Ed was asking, what am I doing? Yes, sorry, I disappeared for a minute, but I'm back. Ivan says, in the day of work, how many pictures are good and how many are bad?
There's only one great picture.
Yeah. We would often get models asking for more photos from the shoot, but like if you've already got the best photo, why do you need
The
the
second best.
Like sometimes it's nice to have two.
If there's a variation, like choke,
Yeah.
lighting change, oh, of course. But on a commercial shoot, it's different. It's what the client's booked us for. So the client, like that bike rack shoot we had, the client had a set thing he was after, and we shot till we got what he was after, and then he got the images that he needed. On that couple shoot we did the commercial couple shoot we did the other day, same thing. They had a set series of shots they were after, and they upped it. I think they were originally only going to get 10 or something, and they upped it to 30. But they just decided that they wanted more because they really liked what we got. So, but then other clients will book me for these shots. So it might be a picture to go on a bottle of wine, or it might be their front of their catalogue for the year or something like that. So it really depends on the shoot.
Favorite genre, art, fashion, street, etc.
I love fashion.
Yeah, fashions.
And fashion in an art way on the street's awesome.
Let's just combine them all together. What I was telling, the Australian whiskey, I can find it, but I will ask a question while I find it.
What I bought?
Yeah. Lens filters versus post-production filters?
When you're shooting digital, I say post-production filters, because once you put a filter on, you can't change your mind afterwards. It's the same as shooting black and white film rather than digital. Black and white, my client can always change their mind in digital, they can't in film. So it just gives me more flexibility. I think even though I shot a lot of black and white when I was shooting film in the old days, I have got lazy might be the right word. It's got to a point I want to be able to sit down and decide exactly what I want when I come to edit it, not have to be pressured to decide what I think it's going to look like when I'm on location. So that would stress me like it used to stress me.
Like how people are saying the audio static is bad is stressing me.
Oh, is it still getting bad again?
Yeah, I can't figure out what it is.
Unless it's something on the receiver end.
It just comes on and off. Sometimes I heard it before when I skipped back, but every time I put my headphones on.
We'll try and sort it for the next time.
I'm really sorry, everyone.
I don't know if it's dust in our pots.
Well, are we sitting too close?
No, that shouldn't.
Should we socially distance?
I can make you socially distance.
Where was I?
Especially from Peter's mic.
Is it because of where it's sitting on your top?
Noise from Beck, and then someone's gone especially Peter's mic. I don't know. Show me those things again. I'll try and do the one-eared questions.
The one-eared questions. You do this. I'll turn it off mute for you. And when are we going to come to LA? As soon as we can.
As soon as we can. Won't be till next year, sorry.
Yeah, but we will definitely be back there. I can't wait to go to Pink's Hot Dogs and ride on the bird scooters and watch Peter fall over again. Yeah, they're saying your mic scratching. If Sam says if we shop in Texas, he'll drive down for Oklahoma. We will definitely be coming to Texas, which I'm excited for also. I just can't really wait to get out of Australia. Beck, I like your poo paper shots. Thank you very much. I was not really on board with that idea to begin with. I thought Peter was kind of crazy.
What was that?
With the toilet paper.
Oh, toilet paper.
I thought you were crazy. I wasn't on board with it, but I ended up really liking the shots. So thank you. Again, blonde models or brunette models, it really depends. There's no real, do you have a preference? I don't think you do.
Oh, sorry, I'm listening to blonde models or brunette models. I can't hear any scratching now.
I'm sorry, every time we listen, we can't hear it.
Off you go.
Yeah, blonde models or brunette models, but I guess it's the same.
No, it makes no difference. It really, yeah.
Are you going to publish any books?
One day.
Sorry, it just refreshed.
Not high on my priorities at the moment. I still don't reckon I've taken my best photos.
Sorry, I'm just reading. Everyone's complaining about. I don't know why the mic noise is happening. They're saying RF interference, but I don't know. Ed shot a wedding with a slower speed than his flash. I spent the next hours in development room fixing all the prints to save what he could.
Sorry, what was?
It says I shot a wedding with a slower speed than my flash. I spent hours in development room fixing all the prints to save what he could.
Yeah, I've seen stuff done like that before too.
Do you ever deliver the raw file, and what format do you use?
There's a couple of clients that I've given FFF files to, but because they've got their own graphics team, they've got all of their own graphics stuff, the way they do their graphics, and I just gave them the Hasselblad software as well because it's free. So yeah, but not many clients ever ask for it. Some clients ask for it, and when you tell them what it is, oh no, I don't want that. They just want the highest quality picture they can have for their graphics team.
But they think it's, yeah.
But Solutions, or Birch used to, that for a little bit they started wanting the FFF files, and they said, no, you do a better job than we do. Just give us the, in fact, they went to JPEGs. They went from RAWs to JPEGs.
How much, who's spending How much are your electricity bills and your spending for wine and cigarettes? Cigarettes are expensive in Australia, but that's
I don't smoke.
That's why I don't smoke much anymore. I only have a couple a day.
Our wine bill is bigger than our electricity bill. I'm serious.
Do you have any tips for finding your own style as a newer photographer? Been shooting agency tests for a year and feel like just shooting what they want has made me unfulfilled with my work.
Yeah, same as what I said before. Collect a folder full of pictures you love and then keep looking and keep building that folder bigger and bigger. That will become your style. If it's the photos that you love looking at, will be the photos you love taking.
How many shots do you take during a typical studio shoot?
Again, depends on the commercial shoot, whatever we need to do to keep the customer happy. I don't want to shoot crazy, but if we have to shoot 1,000 pictures to get the picture the client needs, we shoot it.
And then there's people like me when we were doing that Morticia shoot and we ended up using the first frame.
Yeah. So really, when I'm working with models like Beck and then who I work with a lot, we can get shots pretty quick once I've got my setup right and styling right. You know, quite often within 5 frames we've got a good shot, but we then tend to shoot a bit longer just to see how good we can make it.
Yeah, and you often say that as well during your shoot. You get the model to have a look and say, "Do you have we got it?" And they'll be like, "Oh, I think so." And then you will say, "Well, can you do better than what we've already got?" Or
yeah. And if they say yes, we will go shoot another 10, 15 minutes.
yes.
And quite often, even with Rara, she'll look through and goes, "Yeah, let's shoot a couple more."
Yeah. Yes. And practice makes a master. What do you think? Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Always need to practice.
You get someone who's never played piano before ever, and just get them to play piano every day for 5 years. For an hour every day for 5 years, I'll be an amazing piano player.
Always need to practice. And ever coming to Miami Beach? We went to Florida not last year. 2019 we went. We didn't go to Miami though.
No.
But I just don't know if we'd really get your type of, because Miami is, the beach, it seems to be a lot more of a different style to what you shoot. We
struggled getting people interested over there.
Yeah.
Just,
I think it's the style is
style,
different.
yeah. Fashion tends to be anti-men magazine-y. So it's anti-bikini, anti-boobs out, bum back type of look.
Yes. When you shoot black and white film, do you use a filter for skin? If so, which colour?
Nope.
No. What's the best thing about your assistant?
She goes home. I don't have to see her on weekends. She breaks things. She drinks a lot. She's very prompt. She's always on time.
Always?
Always.
Always?
Um,
I'm not late that often. I'm only late when it's really important for me to be on time.
I'm not going to say she's got a big enough head and she's going to hit me up for more money if I say good things about her.
Alright, fine, we won't answer that one then.
Now, someone's saying that your boob...
My boob.
Maybe if I swap sides, then it won't be the boob closest to me, it's not the problem. Every time she wiggles, would you stop wiggling?
I don't know what to do. Should I hold it again?
You know, just hold it and see if they complain now.
Okay, I'll just hold it instead.
Hello
I'll try
from
to not
Seattle.
move.
I'll answer your questions.
It's okay.
Come to Chicago. I love Chicago.
I want to go to Chicago. I've never been.
The bean.
The bean.
The bean. I've been to the bean.
What the bean?
What the bean?
Which photographer do you like more, Lindbergh or Lagerfeld?
Oh, Lindbergh is a photographer. Lagerfeld, sorry, I know he's passed away, I'm not speaking dead. Lagerfeld is an unbelievable designer, stylist, fashion. He's not a photographer. If you watch behind the scenes, one of the assistants shows him what button to push. And I'm not putting him down.
I didn't know he took photos.
Yeah, he does. He has got some really, really nice photos. He shoots a little bit in the style of Erwin Olaf, which I really, really like. It's another photographer I haven't mentioned. But yeah, I never looked at Karl Lagerfeld as a photographer, even though he has got some really awesome images, but they feel like Erwin Olaf's work, so I don't know if he had anything to do with them. But Lagerfeld's a designer. If you watch Lagerfeld Confidentiality, it's a DVD or a video. Amazing to see the skill of that guy, how he can just put pen to paper and design something in a millisecond. You're having fun there?
I'm just trying to clip it in a way.
Clip it.
Clip it, because it was kind of getting annoying holding it. Sorry. Where was I now? It's hard to tell from the videos. When you have your octa pointed straight down, how far behind the edge of your octa do you have the model stand generally?
There isn't. I have a set thing I use when I'm teaching people. It's only so you can look at it and know if the model's in the right position. So when I'm teaching it, I have the model 30 centimeters behind or away from the octa, the edge, and it's 30 centimeters above their head. Now, that's only because I can just visually see if they move a little bit closer, they're going to overexpose, a little bit further back, they're going to be under.
It's just so you can keep the same exposure.
Yeah, that's only, and that's for demonstration use. When I'm shooting, every model I'll have it different.
Yeah, because every model's face is different.
The background distance further away, they might be wearing black, they might be wearing white, they might have blonde hair, they might have dark hair, they might have light skin, dark skin, whatever. People have got to realise that if you want to be a good photographer, you do not have just everything bolted in one position and you took everyone. The place is packed down after every shoot and we start again fresh for every shoot. There's no set position on anything. Same with my raw settings. I don't have a preset that goes bang. I have a preset that goes clear everything. Take everything in Hasselblad back to no sharpening, all of the things turned off that I don't use, and then I start, once I got my exposure, then I'll start with the toning and curving to do with that particular shoot.
Jerry said, thank you for giving us great photography. There's nothing like it on YouTube. Peter is my most inspiring favourite photographer.
Oh, thank you.
So nice.
I'm just trying to, I don't want people to be mini-me's or copy me. All I want people to do is...
think outside the box.
If you're following me, you like me because I'm outside the box. Yeah. So maybe that's a better way for you to take your photography, is so your photo actually talks about you. It doesn't say that you're a copy of this other person.
Yeah. Chris says, hello from Seattle. I was going to make a sleepless joke, but I'm sure you get that all the time. What is your go-to portable lighting kit? We've got the travel lighting on... There's
a travel lighting thing on YouTube, look it up, but it's pretty much the Pro Photo B10
and
with a umbrella. Medium deep dish Pro Photo umbrella, silver inside with the sock on the front. And we carry a Paragos, which is a little LED light, and I have what's a little Pro Photo on top? A10?
A1.
A1. Oh yeah, the A1. I have a little A1 that I take, and that's about all I take, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
Pretty much. Tom says, I will love the pizza in Chicago. I'm pretty sure that's the deep dish.
Which, you wouldn't like it.
Yeah, I'm much more of a thin base kind of girl. I find that the thick base, I fill up on bread too much. I'm much more of a thin base girl. But if they can do a good thin base in Chicago, I'm all.
She's a Milan pizza.
I don't really mind where it comes from as long as it's got a thin base. Gary would like to know, how do I get attention from small town people to shoot my boudoir? This town sucks for photography.
Boudoir is really hard. It's hard because boudoir, some people look at it and think it's soft porn. Other people, it's really, really hard. You've got to, small town, so you're not going to have designers. You need to find, I started off early on. To get into fashion from fishing, I had to go into the areas which were easy for me to get work. And one of them is alternative clothing. So your goths, your emos, your punk, heavy metal clothing, into pin-up, steampunk, all that stuff. And once I got one clothing company, it was Devil Dolls Clothing, all of a sudden every pin-up company was just bombarding me, then every friggin' pin-up tattoo model was bombarding me. And it was really easy from there because like I was shooting calendars for the pin-up, and then the hot rods got on board, and then the bands, the psychobilly bands, it all built from that one area. But in Melbourne, we have a fairly strong cult of alternatives. So there's lots of alternative clothing companies. But when you say small town, if I was in Mildura, I would have had no hope of starting.
Yeah, it's tricky.
So small town's hard. Then you've got to look at the small town's not going to have the models to start with, and the small town's not going to have the designers. So if you manage to find some cool models, then you need to get your clothes that come in from outside.
Yes, that's tricky. That's a tricky one.
Yeah, move. So if you want to be a world famous skier, you're not going to live in Sahara, are you?
Okay. Oh yeah, I know what you're saying. It's a tricky question.
It is. It's
a real
hard.
tricky
Well,
one.
it's like trying to be a fashion photographer in Melbourne.
Yeah, that's
And
it.
we're making it happen, but we've got to work. Yeah.
We've got to work real hard. I haven't went black to. This is a bit of an interest. What's the worst experience you've ever had as a photographer?
No, I'm not even talking about that one.
Yeah, I knew what the answer was going to be.
Yeah, no, I've had.
We're not speaking about it.
Yeah, everyone's going to think it's going to be something.
Difficult people.
Difficult. People who get confused.
Yeah. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
We'll leave it. Sorry, it's not that we're
Doesn't matter
trying
what
to.
it doesn't
not
matter
trying to
what
keep
you're
secrets.
into, what sort of work you're doing. There is people that misread things wrong and get things wrong.
Yeah.
And
We'll leave it at that. We don't like. Not that we're trying to keep secrets. It's just.
No.
Yeah. Any band shooting yet?
I love shooting bands. It's just that there's no bands are allowed to play in Melbourne.
We are now.
Oh, we are now. But there's no bands left in Melbourne. I grew up when you'd pull out the gig guide every Thursday night and there'd be 40, 50 gigs you could go to over the weekend. That doesn't even exist anymore, the gig guide.
The gig guide.
Yeah.
At what point in your career did you start figuring out your style?
I still haven't. No. Well, style's always changing, but I would say maybe 15 years ago, I knew what I wanted to photograph, and then my style has evolved from there.
Chicago has great thin crust deep dishes for tourists.
Oh, right.
Let's go to Chicago, just so I
You said no last time I said yes
I
to
want to
it.
go to Chicago.
Let's go there in the middle of winter.
It's a bit cold.
Yeah, I
Isn't it
know.
windy?
I don't know. I think it's very cold. I want to see the bean covered in snow.
The bean. You mentioned you'll be doing a Hasselblad event. When are they coming out with new hardware from Gord?
Don't know. Oh, they've got a phone coming. No, don't worry. Don't get me started on that.
Have you ever worked with an overweight model?
Yes. Well, I don't use the word overweight. I don't like plus size either. But I thought, I got a centerfold.
Plus, I don't like using
I
that
don't
word
like plus size
either.
either. She's a big
People are
girl.
people.
But she's a big girl. Her parents are big girls. But anyway, I've got no hang up with any of that stuff. A model's a model. I don't actually put labels
As
on
long as
them.
they're comfortable and happy to be shot.
Yeah, if they're comfortable in their own skin, I'm comfortable. If they're uncomfortable in their own skin, I can't shoot them. And that's one of the downsides with shooting pin-up and burlesque. A lot of the girls are a little bit more curvy and bigger. But then they go, oh my God, look how fat I look. And you go, well, this is the look you're going for, isn't it?
Yes. Peter, any tips for getting into the fashion industry?
No, just get your own style. The fashion industry, in Australia, it's 10 years of hard work. And you've just got to find an avenue to come through, set a style, make sure it's your style, and then people will see you if they like you.
Jerry said I knew you were going to tell me to move, thanks. Ed says, when you guys visit another state, how do you get your models and what do you give them? Do you pay them
Tinder and normally lollies. Boiled lollies. No, that's Beck's job.
Yeah, I normally just find models and what do we give them? Do we pay them with a little portfolio? Yeah, Generally,
Depends.
it
Everything's
depends.
different. If
Some-
we're filming, we'll pay them for filming.
Yeah, if it's anything for Inspire or YouTube, they get paid.
Paid.
Sometimes they reach out to us and say, hey, I'd love to work with you and get something for both our portfolios. Sometimes I'll contact an agency and say, do you have any models that need new photos in their portfolios?
Yeah, we get other models who pay us to shoot.
And then
them.
and then other models will say like, hey, I really want to work with you, I'll pay you. So it
used
varies.
to have agencies that used to pay me to shoot them before COVID.
But that's my job.
It's your job.
It's my job. I just find people. It's like models ask me that a lot actually when we work with them. They're always like, "How did you find me?" I just do. I just find them, and they like the look of Peter's stuff. So it's normally a little something for both their portfolios.
Yeah, ZZ Top loves it. A lot of the stuff I was doing back then, ZZ Top was the look, the amount of hot rods with girls on it. Are you still crack one?
No, someone's asked me a question.
Ask you a question.
So I need to get my answer for it. Because they've asked if I shoot, and if so what? Yes, I do shoot. And this is what I shoot with, and it normally goes something like this. No, I don't shoot. I get asked a lot if I'm a photographer, but I just do the video side of things. And I've thought, I did photography in high school and I loved it.
You shoot your cats
I take photos of my cats all the time. I take
and your plants.
my
You're a
embarrassing
plant
photos of my
photographer.
boyfriend.
Your dead plants.
No, they're not dead. They, I did it in high school. I absolutely loved it. And I recently found all my old photos from high school and went back on them and cringed so badly. I think I needed to see a chiropractor. But I've thought about getting back into it, but I don't have enough hours in my day as it is really to then pick up a new hobby. But I enjoy doing video. Even though Peter complains about my exposure sometimes, I enjoy it. It's fun.
I don't. I complain about your horrible gimlet. No, I don't. I don't fall in love with my models. I don't. And that's creepy. Yeah, that's. A lot of my models become like best friends.
Yeah.
Like that's how it should be. Anyway, I got lots of very, very close friends who are models.
Jessie says, how's it been doing shoots with other photographers lately? Am I loving it? I haven't been doing too much. I did a shoot a few weeks ago with a photographer I'd never worked with before, and we got along really well, so I'm shooting with him again tomorrow. But it's just always different working with other photographers. I think it's because I'm so used to only shooting with Peter, and Peter is so different to other photographers than when I do work with someone else. It's so hard to like
I'm just going to
adapt.
pretend Peter's here and
Like,
imagine what he's saying.
The thing that I always forget is that you hate look away shots, whereas most other photographers really like look away shots. So the entire time I'm just deadpanning the camera, and then they'll like, no, look away, no, just look over there, and I'm just so not used to it. What are you looking at?
I'm going to risk something.
Oh gosh, what are you risking?
I'm going to pull a battery out. Oh, that worked. I'm going to put a battery in. And we just got more power.
Woo.
There you go.
How long have we been live for? We've been live
Oh,
for
there's a good
a very
thing.
long
This
time.
Sony camera has been on for nearly 2 hours.
That's so good. No,
Oh, 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. Goodness, we've
My
been.
God, you can talk.
It says you. How often do you recommend to do test shoots?
As much as you can. Treat it as training.
Yeah.
But you got to make money, so don't cancel a page, or don't do test shoots when it could be a paid shoot. But yeah, no, like every hour behind a camera, you're going to learn stuff.
We had Maddie coming in for a test. Maddie rescheduled her test shoot with us, I think, 3 or 4 times because she'd put that aside, but then she kept getting commercial jobs.
work. Yeah.
So she was like, I really want to come in and do this test shoot, but I've just got picked up for a commercial job. But I still really want to do it, but
But that wasn't even a test shoot. She did the Inspire and YouTube.
She didn't know she was doing that.
Oh, no.
No, she just
We
thought she was
just
coming
told
in. Yeah. No, she thought she was just coming in for a little bit of a play, and then we were like,
she goes, I'm getting paid, bonus.
What do you call the tripod that you
Camera
use?
stand.
Yes.
They're in every one of our videos on YouTube. It has a link to
a
something similar one that
because Peter's
B&H
one
sell.
yeah,
Mine
discontinued.
doesn't sell anymore.
No. Who is your dream celebrity to photograph? Kate Moss.
Hey, Moss.
My old band played with a couple of bands from Australia when they came to Chicago. Maybe you've heard of them, Carnival and 12 Foot Ninja.
I know Carnival.
I was going to say, I think I've heard of Carnival. I haven't heard of 12 Foot Ninja though. Oklahoma has great thin crust pizza. I want to go back to America. Food
You just
America.
want pizza.
I just want, I do. No, I'm not, I have to go out for Mexican tonight. Damn it, I want pizza.
Sorry about that cracking you up.
It's awesome watching you too. Hi, Peter. We all want an assistant like yours. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. What's
His message has been held for review.
It's alright, I just hit show. A model from my small town is living in South End, Australia. I told her about you and she was asking if you live in the South. She and Beck would drive you ape shit, send her your way. I think I already drive Peter up the wall enough as it is, but that's fine. I can always use more encouragement. It's like when Anna comes in, because Anna's become one of my good friends, so whenever she's in the studio, Peter just sits there and shakes his head at us.
Can I change screens without messing you up?
What do you mean? What are you trying to do?
Can I use swipes?
Yeah.
No, keep going now.
Are you wanting to show something?
Can't, it's not on there.
Oh. What were you trying to do?
Oh no, that's got that on there. That's right. I was going to show, someone said about the film photography thing, but I can't get it, it's not on there. That's cool. Off you go.
We were going to show that though. What was your motivation for starting and then continuing with your tutorials?
Originally, the Inspire thing was, we had so many people that said, why don't you come here and do workshops? Or your workshops are too expensive, I can't afford them. And that's especially some of the places like Spain and Brazil and India. And I can't do it any cheaper. I'm not going to go away from home, live away from home and not earn enough money to pay for my studio. That's just silly.
That's how our workshops are priced. It's all based on
have
overheads.
It's got to cover my overheads. We're not after, I know I've got to buy Beck an island one day, but I don't need an island. So we're not after making, I enjoy what I do. So, you know, I get paid for doing what I love doing. So that's why I do it. My assistant back then, we did a tutorial video through another company and I didn't like how it was done. It wasn't me. They tried to make it too sleek and prim and I just felt this isn't me, this is not how I work. They're not seeing me actually stuff up. So we did that and then we had legal problems with that company, so we got that all killed and we decided to do our own little tutorial channel and try and have it at a price that would actually allow, because it takes a lot of time to do the videos and the editing and that, especially back then. Some of the video footage was so bad I had to spend so much time fixing it. And then setting up the whole website, things are so expensive and the hosting and all that crap. So that's started that way and then it became this monster I had to feed and I didn't like it. And the reason I didn't like it is because everything wasn't being done properly. Everything that I couldn't control wasn't being done properly. So then I employed Beck and it fixed itself.
Yay.
So, and literally that's what happened. So then with our lockdown, basically we lost all our work. So we had to look at a few things and we decided that I wasn't happy with Instagram and Facebook anymore. I don't advertise at all. And I decided that the YouTube platform seemed much nicer because if I wanted to do something with a nipple in it, as long as I marked it as 18 plus, I could do it. Which means I can show high-end fashion with a nipple. And it's amazing how many people haven't found those shoots. They haven't had lots of hits.
Which one? Sorry?
Oh, the Anne one and all of those. They don't have that many hits on YouTube, the videos.
I think they have found them. It's just that you have to have an account.
You have to. You can't just not. You have to be signed in to see them. Anyway, when COVID came out, we started doing a lot more of this live stream stuff, mainly to give us sanity as well as helping other people locked down and had nowhere to go. And I've enjoyed watching other people's YouTube channels and Twitch channels. So we just sort of took it a bit further, and we've been really enjoying doing stuff now. But where we're taking it is, as the COVID is ending, we're still going to be doing all our commercial stuff, but we're just going to film more of it. And you get to see real world what we're doing, or this is at the end of a commercial shoot. We're going to just show you some sneak peeks of what we've been doing. And it's also to try and get people away from the whole camera club thinking
light by numbers.
Light by numbers, and then the models are just influencers or do the Macarena, and they've got one Macarena they do all day, and there's nothing behind the eyes. Just trying to put some information out which is different to what we're seeing. And I don't know, we've seen a few YouTube channels come up, and we just sit there going, like, that's like giving people the worst information. There was a posing one the other day, and we're not mentioning, you can see Beck's face. She was looking there going, there is no way known I could ever.
Following it, and I felt so uncomfortable.
You could never pose like that, could you? It's just things like that, which is all misinformation that was coming from someone who wasn't a fashion photographer saying how to be a fashion model, like how to pose like a fashion model. It was just so wrong. So we're just trying to spread the love. But also there is a business model behind what we do. If we do enough things right on YouTube, we'll get more Inspire subscribers, which means we don't have to do some of our shitty commercial work that you never see us do, like bike racks and crap like that. We can be a little bit fussier with the commercial work we do. Anyway, that was a rave.
That was a little bit. How different would the shoots be with a regular camera like a Canon Rebel? What would you miss compared to the Hasselblad?
Just the quality, dynamic range and things like that, but I can still take great shots.
Yes.
It's not the gear. Like I said, if Nick Knight can put on exhibitions where he's selling images at like $100,000 shot on iPhones in his kitchen, it's not the gear is what makes us feel good.
Yeah.
So if you remember, the toys are for the photographer. The client who's buying the photo doesn't care what toy you use to shoot it. They just care about the picture that you're supplying.
Well, even when I shoot with other photographers, like, I mean, I always just ask them what they're using just because I'm genuinely curious, because I work for a photographer. I don't sit there and judge them. Like, I'm just curious. I'm like, oh, what are you shooting with?
Yeah.
I don't care. It's still get nice photos at the end of the day. Anyways, again, not answering what's the worst experience had as a photographer. Sorry, not being rude. Just don't really want to speak about that. What is the light stand you use that has the cranks, and how many dollars? So is that it's the Manfrotto Mega Boom.
Yeah, the Mega Boom.
Pricey.
I don't know. Yeah, they are. Look, all up in Australia, I think that whole thing was like $1,500 for the bottom section and $1,500 for the boom arm. But I had someone come in the other day. Yeah, it gets used all the time. And yeah, I'd pay that twice over for how much it works. Photographer came in the other day with nearly the same bottom, and he picked it up on eBay for $600. Oh. So yeah.
Don't go shopping when hungry, but planning trips is always great. I don't get it. When we come to LA, yes, I cannot wait until we can get there. How do we like Fuji cameras? Never shot with one. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Married with children? I don't know if that's at me or at you, because Peter's married with children.
Married with grandchildren. So must be at you.
At me? I mean, I would.
Well, you're practically married and you've got 2 cats.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. No, I'll be nearly 40 in 10 years. That's scary. I don't really want to think. Where do I see myself? I hope I have a Ferrari and an island.
And a boat.
And a boat.
To get to your island. Or you're just going to drive your Ferrari to the island.
No, it's not a boat. And a nice big house. And a dog. I don't know, maybe a kid. Learn more from this channel than on the books and Facebook groups combined. That's very nice. Thank you, Tom. Jerry tried the advice about model
Yeah, I just read that.
lived in 2005.
Beck, so what did Beck say to me the day after she had to do her first fashion shoot in ages?
I pulled a muscle in my back. I got home from work, like shooting. I went to like pick up the recycling, I think. I was like, oh, my back hurts. And my boyfriend's like, why, what did you do? And I'm like, posing, I had to do fashion and I pulled my back out.
And same when I shoot dancers, the dancers always text me the day or
So
2 days
painful.
later saying they've never been so sore in their life. Because I just push.
Me last week, I was trying to get comfy on the couch to watch a movie. I'm like, oh, my back. I was trying to get up to get my wine. I was like, oh, my back. It's not fun. Where do you think is best for finding models for test shoots? Do you contact agency only? Is it social media useful? Yeah,
Most agencies, they want to see your folio, they want to see hair and makeup, all that crap. That's their easy way to say, we're not going to send you a model. One of the cheats you can do is Instagram. If there's a photographer that's in your area and you see a nice picture, see what model he used and see if you like her, then contact her through Insta.
Yeah, exactly. What would be the ideal date? When my boyfriend buys me pizza and wine and puts on a Tarantino movie on the couch.
What Tarantino movie?
Kill Bill.
Yeah. What wine?
For 19 grams is fine, to be honest. Anything red.
If he's buying it.
Anything red, I'm not that fussy.
Fluffy.
I'm just like red and my pizza and the couch and maybe don't speak to me. I'm joking. Jake watched the Nick Knight video yesterday. Absolutely unreal, amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
How is Peter I think that means like, how are you as a boss?
Shit.
Yeah, he's horrible, he's the worst.
You know why?
Makes me drink, he makes me lunch, he makes me coffees.
Every time she stuffs up, I say, that's my fault for employing you.
Yeah. But, no, he's actually.
So she never makes mistakes, it's always my mistake for employing her.
He is the best boss. But I won't go too much into that. Hey Peter, have you ever used ProPhoto HMI?
No, I haven't. Sorry, that's not that I wouldn't, I just haven't. I'm using Zeiss A7s at the moment, I love them, but I would love to have a couple of really big HMIs, but I don't know, they're very expensive in power, they're very hot, and hopefully when COVID goes away, well, we won't be in the studio that much anymore, so I can't cut them with me.
Yes. When will Mika make a return? She's a fantastic model.
Yeah,
she gets really tied up. Yeah, she's got school and tied up with commercial stuff, so it's kind of hard working at her schedule because she is very busy herself. Do you paint your cyclorama other than white?
Yeah.
No, they mean the white one.
Well, that's the white one.
They mean, do you paint the white one in the
Oh yeah, it has been painted yellow once before and blue once before.
Really?
Yeah, the client paid for it to be fully painted and paid for it to be sanded off and repainted back to white.
Crazy.
For me, no.
Shopping when hungry, buy a lot of junk food. Yes, I do that. If I'm like really hungry, I always tend to buy if I go grocery shopping when I'm hungry, I end up buying so much more food than I need, and I get home and I'm like, why did I spend all this money? I shouldn't do
Because you ate.
We have a troll. That's nice.
Oh, nice troll. Yeah. Hope we made your day. You just sit there in your wirefronts in the back room of your mum's house while you're unemployed.
I think they're just bored. NFTs, it's all the rage in the news these days. Any thoughts on how it might affect the way photographers make money, or is it too soon to tell? We touched on this earlier. I just don't understand them.
I think it's a Bitcoin.
Yeah, I don't
understand. It could work and it could crash, nobody knows, and...
It's a gamble. I mean,
it's a gamble.
If you're a gambling person, you can take that risk. I'm personally not.
And I think the people having a vested interest in the whole NFT things are the ones who are putting it in the news.
Yeah.
It's like there's a certain landscape photographer who had the most expensive photo ever sold. And then the IRS came after him because they didn't see that amount of money go through his account. And then it turned out that he could not show that amount of money getting paid into his account. So he was selling images based on he had sold the most expensive picture ever sold. Anyway.
Interesting. We should probably get going soon.
We should.
Sure, that's right. Ooh.
We have works to do other than sit here and drink in the middle of the day.
And talk to all you guys.
And
That's so much fun.
Talk to awesome people all over the world.
I know, but I love doing this. This is like the best part of my job. One of them. Anyway.
Where do you want to go next?
Where do you get your inspirations?
Inspirations, yeah, I struggled for a while. But I got my inspirations back now that I realised the thing I love, one of the most things I love is fashion. And if I can't get decent designers, we'll just make crap and we'll just shoot it in the way of fashion. And I've got to get back into doing more of my music videos and writing music and then filming stuff to go with it and just get more back in my buzz again.
Your buzz.
Now that we don't have to wear masks, I can breathe.
Your favourite tequila? Do you have a favourite mezcal?
I have them. I'm really, in fact,
I
am
found
I allowed
the
to do
whiskey.
this? You found the whiskey?
The whiskey before, if who asked about the whiskey is still watching, it was called the Gospel.
The Gospel?
That's what it was called. See, the Gospel whiskey.
All right, so what I can do is I can bring up a picture of my bar and I can point to the... Beck knows, I'm really bad. Letters just jumble in my head.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for food. Why is it up there? And there's my bar.
And now if I flick
and
to... Is this the right way? Yeah.
All right. So is this going to see my mouse?
I think so.
Oh yeah, it sort of does. So my very favouriteest tequila is that blue bottle back in there, which I think I have a link somewhere to where to buy it from.
Okay.
My next favouriteest bottle is this box here. And that would be my top two. And then if I come down in, let's move.
Come for the photography, stay for the tequila.
It's an old picture. It doesn't have my two new bottles of bourbon.
You have to take a new one.
I don't have that really nice bourbon I got from Orlando because I drank it all. It's not even in there. But yeah, that's my pride and joy. You can flick back. I hope that answered that question.
I've lost where we went.
Yeah, the NFTs where lots of legal stuff's been talked about. Some of our clients are talking about stuff with videos as well as stills and all of that. 90% of the lawyers in that can't even answer our questions, so that scares me a bit.
Yeah, it's all a little bit confusing. Ryan said that this was amazing, thank you. Love the casual, positive vibes. That is how we keep it all of the time. Is there a lens you need, or do you have it all at this point?
No, I really don't need any new toys.
You pretty happy?
Yeah, I've been happy for a while though. I've changed my X to the new X only for two reasons. There's this little adapter thing which works better on it, which means I can put my 100mm on it, it becomes a 1.8. It also now Wi-Fi's to my iPad. So I can just take an iPad and my X out onto the beach and it'll just Wi-Fi to it. So it gives me that tethering ability without even having to have cables. So
yeah, that was really fancy how it could do that.
And it was really quick, it worked beautiful.
It was awesome.
We've got it in one of our tutorials. We did film another tutorial to show it on YouTube, but I remember I didn't like what that was happening, so we've got to redo that.
Yeah.
The whole Sony thing, really, it's an update, but I was happy with the cameras I had. The Sony A7s, one we're filming on now, 3, I've been hanging out for that for ages because I needed a better video camera for stuff that I'm doing. Stuffs. But yeah, no, I think, I buy little bits and pieces, but normally they're just gadgety things. They're not big.
Big things.
Big things.
Jerry, I'd like to know when our next Q&A will be, because this was awesome.
Most likely 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We'll have to do it it'll be on
for Europe
Europe time though.
But we we felt like we got kind of stale with them because we were doing so many Q&As, so we thought that you guys were kind of getting bored, so that's why we didn't do them for a while. But other than that, we try and just drop them in whenever we can, whenever we've got like a spare couple of hours that we can.
We've got to paint the psych again, so
we can do that as well.
Yeah, so we've got to do.
Who's your favourite person?
Your boyfriend.
No, I don't know if that's for me or you.
I think it's for you. I think he's been asking questions of you.
For me. Yeah, probably my boyfriend or my mum.
Oh, your mum not at the moment.
Not at the
Hope mum's not watching.
No, I'm not so much angry at her, it's someone
No, I'm staring.
Peter Beck, what percentage of your income is commercial versus stuff you really like to shoot?
It's changing. It got really bad where I would say that 80% was commercial. But now because of COVID and that, so the stuff that we're doing for Inspire and we're doing for YouTube is stuff I like to shoot.
Yeah.
So we're changing it, and we've contacted a whole heap of designers that said they're 100% happy just to send their shit to us to do whatever we want to do.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So then I can get back to shooting stuff the way I shoot. So then my commercial work will be really my work that if they're not happy, they won't pay me. If they're happy, they'll pay me. And that's the whole way I'm going. Instead of quoting them and doing a job and they have to pay, it's now we're just going to shoot it. But if they want to use any of it, they have to pay us. And that's a new business model.
Yeah. Why am I not a model?
Do I need to explain that?
No, I don't know. I've got like a deeper explanation to it that I don't really think I will get into too much. But like, I know I started saying it a little bit of a joke because I wasn't actually modeling. It was just I liked Peter taking my photos. So I wasn't actively shooting with other photographers. I'm not signed with an agency. I wasn't doing commercial work, and also I don't necessarily like people saying you're having your hair and makeup this way, you're wearing these clothes, and that is not what a model is. None of what I just said is what a model is. So that's why I was calling myself that. But now I am shooting with other photographers. I have done a little bit of commercial work. So I feel like I am transitioning back into being what is a little bit more of a model, but I'm not thrilled about the commercial stuff I have to do, but sometimes you have to do it. And
oh yeah, that was funny shooting you commercially.
So
I wanted to video it so the world could see it, but you'd kill me.
So while I don't necessarily like doing that, the more models I speak to, they also don't like doing that commercial stuff either, but you've got to do it because that is what you're being hired for. And yeah, so that's why I started it. I started it as a joke because it's a whole thing. It is like a bit of a meme where your friend will pull out their iPhone to take a photo of you and you'll start posing and they'll say, oh, you're so not a model. Like, that's why I started saying it. And now it's evolved into this whole other thing, but
the other thing is still that once a model gets to a certain level, they can
become an icon.
They can be picky to what they shoot.
Which
means that they're not a model because a commercial client wants to put pink hair on her and put her in a tutu. And that's what a real model does. They'll just do whatever the client wants.
I would for the right price. I wouldn't love the photos.
For an island.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so it's a really long-winded explanation. Sorry, and I feel like I was all over the place and I sounded really depressed saying that.
You don't like that saying anymore.
I know.
Wish you never brought
I have
it
this.
up.
I know because I have this thing. Whereas if you say if something gets repeated too many times, it just really starts to irritate me. So, sorry, I sound like a real grump now.
You're a real grump.
I'm such a grump. This bug is annoying me. Can it just? This is not the Beck, Peter and Bug show.
It's a fruit fly. It's decided you're a piece of fruit.
I'm a snack.
You're a peach. More like a mango.
What? Really found your channel recently and enjoyed the content so far. Thank you. We love you.
I'll jump that. So someone's asked, they saw me on Hasselblad, has Fuji tempted me? No. If you're driving a Ferrari, you're not going to be tempted to buy a Nissan.
Yeah.
And I'm not putting Fuji down. I don't need to look around. I'm really happy with the camera I've got. Yeah. Next.
Is this Inspire available only in Australia? I've been trying to get onto the website, but we always get an error.
No. It's worldwide.
It's worldwide. So if you could please drop us an email,
Beck
I can sort that out for you because it's worldwide and I haven't
We've never heard that before.
Yeah. So drop us an email. I think there's a contact form through the website, or I'll just drop Peter's.
Yeah,
I'll just quickly put in my email in the comments now. Shoot me an email. I'll sort that out for you.
Ever thought about leaving photography? Yeah. Just before, well, round about the time Beck was joining me. Beck knows the day I'm talking about, don't she?
I know.
So yes, so it was more or less, I'm too old for this. I could retire and not have to put up with the shit that was out of my control. But we fixed that.
We fixed it. You broke it. I fixed it.
You fixed it. Only took 3 years, but we fixed it.
Kelly would like to know if we'll be doing more videos in the future. Yes, we've got a couple backlogged up.
And we're shooting another couple next week.
Yes.
And,
So we've got more stuff planned. Thank you both. You are welcome. Is there a piece of accessory gear that you want to try, and if so, what?
Only the new DJI drone, which is like a racing drone. I just want to try it and see how bad I can crash it.
I want a drone.
I was tempted, but I just never use it. It's not really what I do.
I just use it for funs. Do you think YouTube is a key for marketing today?
Oh yeah, really good key. Yeah, 100%. There's some really good, what I've done, because I got bored with music around the world because I couldn't find stuff I liked. So in the car, for a couple of years now, I've been listening to podcasts. And there's a couple of really good podcasts on YouTube, and it's so across the board of different businesses using it. And one was a company that does beef jerky, and another one was a company that does chickens, and there's all different, completely what you wouldn't think, and how they used YouTube to market their own products. They ended up making like 3-4 times the turnover from what the YouTube channel was creating with people ordering and buying their stuff direct than what they were selling through supermarkets and that. So yeah, I think I'm hating social media because I'm finding that, well, Instagram, Facebook, it's all owned by the same creep who wants to control the world. Well, he is. I really don't like it. And YouTube's been left a little bit free. The advertising is, you can pay $9 a month and you don't see ads, so they can't influence you. You can't do that with the others. And then they decide what's going to be seen, not. A really interesting thing I was reading or listening to about YouTube is YouTube's analytics aren't trying to make robots happy, it's trying to make people happy. So it's not necessarily looking at what you click on, it's looking at what you do after you leave YouTube. And then when you come back to YouTube, what you do. And that's what's interesting me more, that YouTube's looking at people that are commenting a lot and looking at happy faces and upticks. They're putting their whole thing as not looking at what a robot thinks is you want, is actually looking at the experience that humans are having on YouTube and how many times they come back to a channel or go to a similar type of channel, not just watch that and then get off and not come back for 4 days.
Well, I even find the algorithm on YouTube to be a lot better. Like if I'm listening to, like on Spotify, my recommended on Spotify, it sees that I listen to Deadmau5 and it's like, oh, she listens to electronic music, so it recommends this cookie cutter stuff that I would never listen to. But on YouTube it says, oh, she's listening to Youngblood, and they'll recommend another awesome like alternative rock person, and it's really related, whereas Spotify just has no idea.
Yeah.
So I like YouTube for the algorithm. Anyways, I read a question wrong in my millennial brain. They said, how are you both lit right now? And I was going to be like, because we're drinking. And then I was like, oh wait, he means lighting.
Natural light. This is your studio. This is one of the reasons I have this studio. I have awesome natural light on full sun. So when we've got full sun, we've got some skylights and we've got windows out the front, and we just get, so we've got nothing on us. We've got no lighting on us, we've got no reflectors. It's just naturals. We need to wrap this up. Do you do photography outside the studio or in the studio? No, shoot slots outside. For the first time in your life.
Shoot Hasselblad. We're not in the studio. Yes.
If we keep going, we're going to be at UK time. It's 5 a.m. in Germany.
Oh my gosh.
Another 2 hours, I'll be waking up.
Do you shoot Hasselblad when not in the studio?
Yes.
Yes. But if not, what do you shoot? Sony.
Sony.
Besides more drinks, what will the rest of your day consist of?
We've
I haven't
got
done,
lots of emails and lots of that.
I haven't done any of my admin because I was stressing this morning.
I need to sort out a bit of camera gear and got to set up the studio for next week.
Yes, we'll be a little bit busy, so maybe we should get going, I think. Oh wait, what, Sean? Maybe a stupid question. What's the biggest difference between fashion photography or kind of like the way you shoot compared to just regular portrait photography, such as, I don't know, senior portrait?
The label I put on it. No. Now fashion is looking at things in a more commercial, advertising way. Portraiture, if I'm just shooting a portrait, I'm just after pretty and some emotion. If I'm shooting fashion, I want a story. So I want an expression that's actually making a feeling or a story. So someone looking at the picture goes, I want to feel like she's feeling, so she's got a bottle of perfume, so I need to buy that bottle of perfume.
Maybe we should wrap this up. I'm really sorry. Why does she always look like she's just washed her hair? Well, I actually have just washed my hair for the first time in 10 days. It's actually normally dirty, but it is clean for once. What are you doing?
Shooting to editing, no, editing's always minimum. Get it right in camera. I'm just reading the last couple. Okay. Happy Easter, everybody. Eat lots and lots of alcohol and maybe drink some chocolate.
I might set up an Easter egg on Tom around my house on the weekend.
You're going to make Jared run around your house looking for Easter eggs. Yeah. I reckon he's going to do it and put little Easter eggs full of wine.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing. Right.
Anyway,
we've got to go, guys. I'm really sorry.
We do have to go. We've got 3 hours. Oh my God.
We could talk
sorry for anybody who's sat and listened to us for 3 hours.
But
That's so
thank you.
painful.
If you did sit and listen to us for 3 hours, we appreciate you. And if we didn't get to your questions, we're very sorry.
There's comments you can leave after this is finished, so everyone can leave comments. Anything that people have typed that we haven't answered in the last 3 or 4 minutes, Beck will answer. So we'll answer those things.
Or you could email us if you want.
You can email us if you want. We try and answer everything that's not silly.
Well, it's even still like I try to.
No, I meant we get some. Will you date me? You know, the silly ones. And my answer is no. I'm happily married. I won't date you.
We will try and get to it. If you have a question, leave it in the comments, and we'll see you guys soon.
Do you?
I can't because I've got to like push end. Oh wait, maybe I can. Maybe you do it. You just need to click that, and I can do that.
So where are the credits going to go?
We don't have credits.
Oh, you know the thing that you stuffed up. No, go.
Oh no, we go.
Off you go.